Hi there, everyone! This is the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. This campaign, we're covering the starter of all tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons. Specifically, their second introduction box called the Essentials Kit. In it, we have the adventure Dragon of Aspire Peak, where a white dragon has been terrorizing the countryside. Currently, I am the Game Master, Spencer Reese, and I have my lovely players. Let's go ahead and introduce Dalton. Would you mind introducing yourself and your character?
Hi everybody, I'm Dalton. I'm playing UFO, recently anointed with a new hat and caffeine and a twinkle in his eye. Dan, you want to introduce yourself and your character?
Oh, yeah. I am Dan. Hi, everyone. I'm playing Bjorn Mountainside, a now level 2 dwarf fighter who comes from noble backgrounds and does stuff and things.
Lots of things.
Things and stuff. Some questionable.
People, places, and things.
Next
Murray things.
Next up, Justin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Justin. I play Doc Rivers. I am our group's doctor and a part-time professional wrestler.
Semi-pro, right?
Semi-professional.
Semi-pro?
Yeah, it's the semi-pro.
You're working your way.
Part-time semi-pro wrestler.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a part-time
That
semi-pro.
was a good movie, by the way. Semi-pro. That was a good movie.
I enjoy the work of Andre Benjamin.
Well, next up, we have our semi-pro entertainer, Ashley, playing Nivara. Which
I am a professional entertainer, game master.
I'm sorry.
My name's Ashley. I am playing Nivara Adar. I am twins with Christian, who is playing Novo Adar. Twins in the game, not in real life. Just twins in the game.
Oh.
I am playing a moon elf. I'm playing a moon elf bard, and Nivara, she's a bit obnoxious. She likes to, throw some sass out. She can take it, but she likes to throw it more than she can take it. I'm good.
And last but not least, we have our very studious other bard, the other twin of the other half of the Moon Twins, Novo, played by Christian. Christian, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Christian. I play Novo Adar, the better half of between us. Ivara. Yeah, so I'm just trying to save the world one song at a time, and it gets hard out here, but you just gotta keep plucking away at your lute strings and win over the hearts of all of the beautiful women in Neverwinter. So
yeah,
change
the world one pluck at a time. So yeah. So we have our wondrous entertainer group here tonight. To catch you up, they went on a quest in they started out in the small town of Phandalin, which they found out, after a failed kind of like entertaining was it a concert? It was a tournament, right? An entertainment tournament?
Yeah, it was like a big competition, basically.
Yeah.
So after a failed competition, they found themselves washed up in the town of Phandalin, trying to start, just get their confidence boosted and kind of work their way back up. They found out that they performed at that town. They found some quests as well. They went to this small gnomon city of Nomengard. While they were here, they kind of had some interesting adventures, meeting a crazy crossbow wielding gnome who attacked them. But where we left off last session was they had just talked to the guards that were guarding the way to the rope bridge across to the other side of Nomengard. As upon speaking of the guards, they first left the crazy crossbow wielding gnome Factor with the guards and proceeded to go across. Unfortunately, as soon as Bjorn, who was piloting a barrel crab, tried to step on the bridge, he immediately got tangled in it. Just to kind of explain that, by the way, it specifically says in the book, there's no check, no nothing. It just says if they try to cross the bridge in a barrel crab, it will get tangled. So
That's awesome that they thought of
It
that.
addresses this issue.
it does.
specifically?
It specifically says that.
Does it say who?
Amazing.
Wizards.
Does it say who wrote the adventure, or is it just
I
like
bet
a
I can look it up.
group thing? Because I want to like specifically give that person kudos. Like personally, I want to send them a DM on Twitter.
Yeah. Let's see here. I know there's a credit tab. I gotta go looking for it.
Yeah.
Here, how about this? We'll look it up later, and when we get that name, we'll drop a mention for them.
We'll name drop them.
Yeah, maybe I'll find it on our break and everything. So, but yeah, they specifically wrote in there, hey, if they try to cross the bridge, it gets tangled. So.
That's awesome. I will say what I really like about this campaign too is it's really inclusive so far. Like they wrote in 2 kings and that was like just written in, and I think that's really cool that we have lots of representation of all different groups including LGBT. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I did find the designer, graphic designer, illustrators, oh gosh, there's a bunch of producers. Okay. It just has a bunch of managers and stuff like that. So,
Gotcha.
adventure designer is Christopher Perkins.
It's probably that guy then. I'll have to. I'm gonna
I
give.
don't know if he wrote that part.
You know,
It might have been one of the producers.
There's an editor as well, adventure editing, Scott Fitzgerald Gray. So there's a lot of different people on here.
Okay, I'll have to do
link it
some.
to you.
I'll have to do some research.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yes, as Ashley was mentioning, the party members continue to cross the bridge, and well, after they got past the bridge, they found some spinning blades of death. You know, eventually they'll meet the kings and whatnot, but they met some spinning blades of death, and they're like, how the heck do we get past it? And after a few moments of debating whether or not Naivara should be cut in half or not, or whether or not the party can heal her after she's been cut in half,
I will say,
Bjorn ran back. Yeah.
it wasn't empirically proven that they were spinning blades of death. Nobody actually tried.
There's
I
still
might have
time.
been fine.
Very good point.
I might have been fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to test this.
It could have been just like.
No, you
Beyblade
heal
dueling or
me.
something.
Doc.
Like,
Just. Oh yeah, does anybody need to be healed?
I'll let you pass if you beat me in the Beyblade duel.
Oh, I'm gonna let you guys. I know how much damage it could inflict on average, and how many dice it would roll, and I'm gonna let you guys decide whether or not you want to try that out in the future. So,
I'm not healing anybody that
With my
tries this.
9 hit points, I think I'm not.
I want to
gonna do
warn
that.
you. I super disapprove of running through the spinning blades, even if they're not spinning blades of instant death. If they're just blades of great maiming, I'm not healing you.
Beyblades would be dex weapons, probably, right?
Doc heals,
Yeah.
but Doc doesn't heal stupid. So,
Dalton, I think Beyblades could be dex weapons, but I also know that a huge component of Beyblades is yelling, before you launch it.
Oh,
So I
right. There's a
think it
lot of
could be
strength
charisma.
into the letting it rip portion.
Or
I'm
strength.
good.
There's multiple arguments here for
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should just go ahead and call them versatile. Just versatile martial weapons.
So, anyways, after you guys decide to look at the spinning blades of possible death, Bjorn went back and talked to the guards, who found out that they just disarmed this trap with Mage Hand, which none of the party had. So Bjorn grabbed Factor and promised him to give him a crossbow, a new crossbow, if he disabled the trap for him. Took him across Factor agreed. He disabled the trap and then demanded to have the crossbow immediately. To which Bjorn was like, "Here, follow me." While the rest of the party ran across the spinning blades and such, Bjorn took Factor to the middle of a rope bridge and pushed him off the edge.
Yeah. Might
It
have
is,
done that.
it is still unknown what happened to the poor gnome Factor, but he did fall 20 feet down into the water, and he has not been seen since. There were a few checks to see if anybody could spot him, but so far, it is a mystery what the fate of Factor is. So
Yeah.
And what did Bjorn tell the rest of the party that happened to Factor? Like
Nothing.
He's
we
like,
so
He said we didn't
yeah.
have to worry about him.
Yeah, and
Big-
we were like, okay, cool. I don't like Factor very much. If he's not a problem, I'm unconcerned.
if I remember correctly, I think Bjorn just said like, "Yeah, I gave him the old." Like somebody said, was he okay with getting the old crossbow back?" And Bjorn was just like, "Oh yeah, he's totally fine."
Was a non-issue.
Because we're about to spend a good like 10 hours here, like asleep and like long resting. I mean, this is probably an up to you thing on like if anybody in the Gnome City asks, like brings up Factor and like what happened to Factor. I don't know if I just totally derailed or like made you add work to yourself.
Mm-mm. No, I already had a plan.
Okay,
and
cool.
This doesn't hurt it. Yeah. You guys can talk more about the other gnomes know a lot about Factor, but we'll leave that up when we get back into it. So after that, you guys proceeded into kind of like the workshop lab, and you met Fizzlestib and Dabbledaw, who proceeded to inform you more about the shape changer and about one of their kings locking both him and his other king in the room itself, which you guys found out, like Ashley said, there's 2 kings in this gnome kingdom. That was written in. I didn't put that in there. That's just Wizards of the Coast doing that. So then, yeah, you guys conversed with Fizzlestib and Dabbledot for a little bit. Then they shocked themselves on their own machine to unconsciousness. So you guys decided to move on from there and just kind of keep going. You went to the throne room. Bjorn and Ufo had some fun sitting in the thrones, and Ufo proclaimed himself as the new king of Nomengard.
He's relinquished his title now that the other 2 kings are safe from harm.
Perfect. Good. You guys did find I believe it was Nivara that found the secret entrance in the back. Was it Nivara or was it Dr. Rivers?
I don't remember.
Dr. Rivers found it. He was looking around for anything behind the he actually was looking for secret stuff in the thrones, and then tripped and then fell in front of this seam in the wall and was like, "Oh, hey,
you can push this open."
Great.
Yeah.
So
you guys pushed it open and found a secret entrance to the king's bedroom chamber, to which you found King Nurgle glued to a chair and King Kerbas just insane, just gone mad from the shape changer. Nurgle pleaded with you to go find the shape changer. After you guys ransacked their room and found their mystical toys, inventions, magical items. So,
Oh boy.
so then, you guys decided that, we should probably kill the shape changer, and maybe Korbaz will be okay. So you decided to start looking around the place. You investigated their junk room and took some of the magical items that actually worked in there. And then you actually found the mimic in the wine, the wine room, like the wine barrel room. You had a very intense battle, to which Doc Rivers almost died, but thankfully was okay, thanks to the magic power of both himself and I think Nivara healed him quite a bit.
We used all the magic on healing.
Yeah. Ufo did light some barrels on fire, which exploded all over the floor, wine barrels, but Nivara
the mimic lit the barrels on fire.
Oh, sorry, that's right. The mimic did that. So then Nivara actually had sprouted butterfly wings. Doc turned blue, I believe. Nivara sprouted butterfly wings, and I believe UFO didn't have anything happen to him, right?
No, UFO knows how to cast spells correctly.
So then Nivara got the last hit on the mimic and just exploded it everywhere.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So sorry. So then you guys went back and formed King Nurgle, King Krabaz, Fibblestib, and Dabbletop, who had awoken about the whole news. They were very thankful. They gave you a bunch of magical items. Actually found out, like, you guys said that the Mimic had stolen 2 of the items, and you guys thankfully retrieved it for them.
Yes. I believe I told them that they were welcome too.
Yeah, they were very upset by the Mimic going around stealing their stuff, killing their people, and lighting their barrels of wine on fire. They're very happy that you guys took care of the Mimic for them. So, but yeah. So after that, I think the party agreed to spend the night here. They made some accommodations for you. UFO actually found their book of magical wisdom and decided to study it overnight. And now, I told you guys, normally you're supposed to go back to town and turn the quest and everything like that, but I consider this quest complete. And since this is like a milestone kind of like completion, it means you guys leveled up. So what we're going to do next is kind of go over like our leveling up system and everything. But I do want to cover what happened with Novo while he was away. So Novo last session, unfortunately couldn't be here, but that's okay, because life comes up and everything happens. But what we did was I talked with Christian. I was like, all right, let's say that like, what if you went back to town to try to figure out how to like fix the crossbow to the barrel crab? That was your idea, wasn't it, Christian?
I had wanted to do that from the start. So we decided that, I was going back to see if I could find any libraries, any information, or any engineers that could help me with it.
Yeah. And I told Christian, basically there is a person at the Phandalin Miners Exchange that would have a lot of knowledge and resource to be able to kind of help him out. So he was able to meet Halia, who was actually who was at the party's first entertainment pro wrestling match back in Phandalin. So he met up with her and kind of like did some research. So now, Christian, let's go ahead and make some intelligence checks. I'm going to set a specific difficulty check number. And I'm going to have you make an intelligence check with your proficiency 3 different times, and kind of see if you pass it and kind of figure out through your research if you're able to kind of put the crossbow on the barrel crab. Justin, just to have your kind of help in it, do you think that sounds like a fair kind of like check and everything for like doing research and background activity? Because I know you were covering the rules and everything last week, so.
Sorry, it's really funny that you say that. I was looking up another rule just now. So, what is the check?
So what I was going to do, since Christian was doing research to try to see if he could figure out how to attach the crossbow onto the barrel crab, I was going to have him do 3 different intelligence plus his proficiency checks and see if he passes my difficulty check level. And if he passes it like 2 out of the 3 times, then he kind of figures out how to attach the crossbow onto the barrel crab. I know different background activities kind of give different rules, but I figured we kind of treat this like we did for the performance and see if he's able to kind of pull it off.
Oh, important question.
Yeah.
Christian, are you proficient with smith's tools or other crafting tools?
Oh,
that might be under your background.
I'm trying to see here. It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure if that was something I missed writing down or if I
think what I'm saying is So I think you're doing researching, and the crafting needs to be treated as like a separate thing entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're researching how to do it, right? That was the goal of the downtime.
Correct.
Right.
So he might need to get somebody else to actually craft it, but maybe he learns how to do it.
Yeah. So if you're gonna like figure out like the blueprints, right? It seems to be, Spencer. It seems to be pretty up to your discretion. The rules, in the downtime activities such as researching.
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, I'm going to stick with my 3 checks. But I will say, so Christian, your how you get those kind of proficiencies with tools is it will either be labeled under your class or your background. Sometimes background will say, oh, you get proficiency. Like if you choose the, is it the sage? You get like an herbalist kit, or I know druids specifically can get proficiency with the herbalism kit, but
I believe I wrote everything down. I do not have that.
I did just check bards. It looks like they don't get any proficiency with any tools, but that's okay. Yeah. So for the main part, you might be able to figure out how to actually attach it, but you wouldn't be able to do it to yourself because maybe you don't have enough experience with the tools to kind of like attach it, and you'll have to find like a craftsman or a blacksmith in town to do it for you.
Maybe the one of the dwarves in the party is good with that.
Ooh, we'll have to double check with that.
Brewer's tools.
Ah, so Dan chose brewer's tools.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Well, that's okay.
So would you like me to just roll based off my intelligence modifier or any specific skills?
Intelligence modifier and add your proficiency, because I don't think any specific skill applies to this right now, but I do think that you have proficiency in this intelligence check because you're like researching specifically.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say it's arcana because it's not magic. It's like building stuff and everything, and there's no engineering skill. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, you are proficient with words and books.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and make that roll for me, and I'll tell you if you pass or fail.
Okay.
Rolling up.
All right, let me 16.
16. That is going to be
good.
That's one pass. Let's see if you can get another one.
Okay. Oh wow, that's 18.
Yep. All right,
Even
2
better.
passes. Yeah. So with the help of Halia, you guys are like, not only do you do it well, but you do it like quicker than you thought you would. Like Halia probably has like several schematics for different mining equipment and stuff in the Phandalin kind of like mining exchange. And she like maybe finds an old blueprint. She's like, wait a second, you can like, I don't know anything about the inner mechanics of this crab, but here's something like how they've had to attach different things from outside of or from inside of like different structures. So maybe this would work. And she kind of hands you a blueprint. So you have something to work with. So you have a blueprint, and maybe you have to make a few adjustments yourself, but you're able to have somebody make it for you or find somebody who has proficiency with like the crafting tools. But you probably can't do it yourself. You would have to find somebody with that proficiency. But you have done the research and you have figured it out.
Perfect. That's exciting.
Yeah. So there we go. So you find yourself, what probably happened was like, that was like towards most of the day, and it's like in the evening, and you kind of like maybe like go to bed and wake up the next day and you're like, wait a second, the party, like they're still not back in town. I better go find them. So maybe you like set off, and like what we're going to do is we're going to do our level up, but we're going to pick back up after our level up with you coming back to Nomengard. So I'm going to move your token back onto the map and stuff like that, and maybe finding your way to where the party is. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what we'll do now, let's do a level up, because like I said, you guys completed your first quest. You saved Nomengard from the evil shape-changing mimic. So,
Woo.
if everybody else could start leveling up their characters in the background, I'm going to go ahead and help Christian and guide him through how to level up his character. So Dalton, if you're able to pull up the player's rule book with the Bard section, and Christian, if you could do the same, could you navigate to page 11 in the player's rule book, and all the way down at the bottom of page 11, there's going to be a handy, nifty little table called the Bard. Now, this is under the classes section, and every single class has this. So this is my personal opinion, a very helpful table for whenever you level up, you know exactly what you're getting and what you have to do. So if we look at this table, and if anybody has any helpful suggestions or anything like that, chime in at any point. But if we look at this table right here, it says level 2. Your proficiency bonus on the second line stays the same. It's still +2. It's not going to get to a +3 until you hit level 5. So don't have to change anything with proficiency bonuses or whatnot. That's staying the same. If you look to the right of that, the Jack of all trades, you get 2 new features. You get Jack of all trades and Song of Rest. Okay, great. We're going to go down and look at those in just a second, but it might be good to write down both of those things under your features like box on your character sheet.
Yes.
So some of the major things that you're going to get with this level up is you're still going to know only 2 cantrips. That's okay. You aren't going to get 3 until level 4, but you do know an additional spell. Whereas other spellcasters like the wizard or clerics, you know your spells based on your intelligence or your wisdom modifier. Bards are learned spellcasters, so they just kind of like as they level up, they can know more spells. It's not based on the charisma or anything. So, and one important detail too, if you look under the spell slots, you don't have access to second level spells, but you have an additional first level spell slot. So instead of only casting 2 spells, you can cast 3 now. So, super exciting.
This Jack of all trades is awesome. I'm excited about that.
It's awesome. So for viewers at home, Jack of all trades lets you add, what is it, Bards? Half?
It lets you add half of your proficiency bonus to all ability checks that you aren't already proficient in.
Yeah.
Rounded down. So like our proficiency bonus is +2 right now. So you would add +1 to any ability check that you are not already proficient in, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And then that'll go up as we increase our proficiency bonus. So that's awesome.
Dalton, if you want to scroll down to the middle of page 12, we're actually, both of those sections are right down there.
Which sections?
Oh, so it's going to be Jack of all trades and Song of Rest.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Song of Rest is also pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Short rest healing is pretty solid.
Yeah, so Nivara covered the Jack of all trades. Did you want to cover the Song of Rest, Justin?
Oh, sure, we can.
Sorry, I'm volunteering you for that.
No, that's okay. I was looking at what my domain feature did.
Oh no, then I can cover it then if you're focusing on that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No,
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I can also covering rest and stuff like that because the party did just take a short or a long rest. So, so Song of Rest, beginning at 2nd level, you can use soothing music or oration to help revitalize your wounded allies during a short rest, which we both know Novo is good at both. If you or any friendly creatures who hear your performance regain hit points at the end of a short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points. So, Christian, just like you get access to Jack of all trades, so now you can just add half your proficiency to all ability checks, this Song of Rest is really helpful for in-between battles. So, I don't think we've gone over long and short rests yet, so I can kind of cover that. Unless anybody else wants to cover rests and such. No, I think everybody's working on their characters, so I'll cover rests and everything. Sorry, guys. If you want to, actually. Sure.
So there's 2 different kinds of rests that you can take. There are short rests and long rests, and you get different benefits from each. A short rest would be if you are taking a break, having a lunch, You're just chilling for a bit. They're about an hour long. You might take a little cat nap. And essentially what happens is you can spend what's called hit dice to heal yourself. You get more hit dice for each level that you're at, and your hit dice value depends on what class you are playing. So that can range from like D6 up to D10 or D12. I think it just depends on whatever class that you are.
Correct.
Depending on your class, you also might get some spell slots back. I think that's just for wizards, maybe.
Yeah, some druids can do that too, but mostly that's like a wizard thing.
Okay.
Oh, and warlocks do that too.
Yeah, so some of these things are class dependent, but really it's just a chance for you to rest and heal if you need to. A long rest is 8 hours, and that would be you spending the night somewhere typically, and you don't get a guarantee that you will make it through a short or a long rest successfully. If you're in an inn and everything seems safe, like, yeah, your odds of making it through are much, much, much higher, like 95% that you're going to have a nice normal night. But if you are staying out in like a cave, there's a chance that something might attack you. So you might not get the benefits of a full long rest or a full short rest. And that'll be up to your DM and whatever campaign you're playing. As far as benefits from a long rest, first, if your DM has told you that you will level up, you need to long rest before you actually get the effects of that.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to long rest, but your DM said you leveled up, you're still playing as the level before. So right now, that's why we're all leveling up, is because we are getting the long rest by spending the night in Nomengard. You will regain all of your hit points. You'll regain half of the hit dice that you have. Half of your hit dice can be regained. So if you used all of your hit dice, let's say there's 4 hit dice, and you used all of them throughout your short rest or short rests previously, you can get half of those back per long rest. So you used all 4 hit dice, you would get 2 back after your long rest. You would get all of your spell slots back. And I think that covers everything for a long rest. I don't know if I'm missing anything. But basically, it's just a reset for your character because you're sleeping and you get everything done. Like I said, you might not be able to make it through a long rest. If you are kind of out in the wilderness, creature attacks you or whatever like that, and then your DM will give you guidance on what you do or don't get from your long rest. Or maybe combat was really quick and you get to sleep, and they'll still give you the rest of the benefits of the long rest. So it'll all depend on your DM for those kind of situations. But for us, we were staying the night in Nomengard. We had already defeated the Mimic, so we're going to get all of the full benefits of that long rest. It's safe. We're in cots. Like, it should be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's short and long rest. That was probably a little bit too verbose, but
no, you're
there
good.
You go.
There's a good explanation.
Very good. There's a lot of rules to this, and that's why, like, it's always good to have like your rule book or anything on hand, because if you're ever forgetting of this, like hit dice and all that kind of stuff, and like, oh, how many hit dice do I have? How do I heal up? And all blah, blah. You can always just refer to the rule book or go to that specific section and look it up. Yes, Justin?
I also want to take a minute. If you have the ability to, there are digital character sheets that keep track of this for you. I like to use the official D&D Beyond character creator. You get 6 slots at the very beginning, but the nice thing about it is it keeps track of all of this for you, so it can be really helpful for new players.
Yeah.
I thought of one more thing to add.
Oh yeah.
Let me have a second.
Dalton, is everything okay?
No, OBS isn't capturing Discord.
Uh-oh.
I mean, everybody can still hear us, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
It's just not capturing our video. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at our Twitch stream right now. Nobody can see us.
Oh my
You
god.
can't see what we're doing.
We do have
Is it
people
weird?
chatting.
Oh wait.
Oh, they caught that! They caught that, Justin! They caught your dance!
All right. Well,
Oops. I was doing weird stuff. I was doing a weird dance.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention.
Now
to the
that's
chat.
on the internet.
Oh man, Twins in the Game is another
album.
Novo Adar album. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I do have one other thing to add about long rests.
add away.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Add away. So Novo and I are both playing elves, and as elves, we get a feature called Trance,
Yes.
which allows us to have 4 hours of meditation to regain all of the benefits of a long rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to actually sleeping. So having an elf in your party is really nice because that way, throughout the night, I can take watch for the first 4 hours and then be in a trance for the second 4 hours. And Novo can do the opposite. And between the two of us, we can still get the full benefits of a long rest while the other person is in the trance meditating. And you can watch out for your party, which is a really nice advantage to have as opposed to having to do the full 8 hours, especially if you are going to be in one of those situations where you need someone to keep watch because you're in the wilderness or you're spending the night in a cave or you're in a dungeon or whatever. So that's another thing. And then if you have any other features, aside from like spell slots and stuff like that, you'll just have to look at what the feature says. So for example, Bardic Inspiration for Novo and I as bards, your uses are replenished after every long rest. So you'll just have to look at your features and see if it says it's replenished after short rests, long rests, whatever it is. But typically a long rest is a reset on everything except your hit dice, which is just going to be half of your total you're allowed. So
Yep.
cool.
And
that was it.
Conditions, but yes. Great job, Ashley. Thank you.
Yes. I forgot about trances.
And thank you for your help, Justin. I appreciate that. So basically, the main major things, the first thing I do when I level up is I go to that table and I look up what kind of things are increasing, what numbers are increasing, spells, proficiency bonus, all that stuff, and then seeing what features I'm going to get. And then the last thing we're going to do is increase our health. So, Christian, if you look up above the table where it goes hit points, like under class features, so it says your hit dice right there. You get D8s. So currently at level 2, you have 2 D8s. So that means when you take a short rest, you can roll a D8, as many as you want, up to a certain level, or like up to your level. Unless you have less of that. And then you can add your Constitution modifier to it, and that's how much hit points you gain. Plus, if you activate your Song of Rest feature, you get an extra D6, I believe. So, but we're not using hit points at first level, we're using hit points at higher levels. So it says you can roll a D8 or take the average, which is 5, and then add your Constitution modifier per bard level after first. So you can either take the risk and roll a d8 and see if you can get higher than that 5, or you can just take the 5 and go with it.
Roll.
Well, everybody says you can't seek fame without a little bit of risk.
Yes.
Is he actually going to do it? I never
7.
Yeah!
Hands.
You're a meaty bard now.
Wow.
I'm on fire. All right, so that is 7 plus Constitution for me. Modifier, which is 1.
Perfect. So you get 8 more health. So
I almost doubled my health.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So after everything we covered, Jack of all trades, Song of Rest, spells and everything, is there anything that you have any questions about, or maybe we need to explain things better, either about rests or anything like that?
Yeah, so with the Jack of all trades, it's, add half your proficiency bonus written down, to an ability check that doesn't use your proficiency bonus,
Right.
which I assume is basically anything that requires a specific skill that we're rolling for, correct?
Yes. Like yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like we just did that, and you included it, even though there wasn't a skill for it. But anything outside of that, I would get that, I guess, +1 because it's 2. So
yeah.
Like,
right. Let's say that you and Bjorn decide, oh, let's like climb this hill and see who can get up the quickest. And I was like, okay, you're gonna do a skill check, both of you athletics. You don't have a proficiency in athletics, correct? Well, that's okay, because you can still add half, which is currently your proficiency bonus is 2, so you can still add 1 to whatever you roll, right?
Gotcha. Yes, everything else is just +1 basically.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
So there we go. How's everybody else doing with their level ups and stuff like that? Does anybody have any questions about spell lists or anything like that?
Ashley has a question about spell lists.
Yeah.
So I am confused.
What's up?
So I'm confused.
Yeah, no, just go ahead.
Actually.
Yeah.
So for first level spells, I'm looking on the bard table.
Uh-huh.
And it says that now I should know 3 spells.
No, those are your spell slots.
3 slots. So how many first level spells do I know? Because I have 4 down already.
So do you see spells known to the left of that? It says 5 on the table.
Oh, okay, cool.
No,
I
yeah.
was confusing myself.
So how this
So
works...
I do get to learn 1 new spell.
Correct. Yeah. So how that works is that you can cast any first level spell 3 times, and you can use it on the same spell 3 times or mix it up however you want, but you only get like 3 uses of your magic. But you can know 5 different spells. And when you get to the next level, and it introduces like second level spells, you can split that up of spells knowns as like whatever you want. Like if you want to have so at third level, you get to know 6 spells. If you want to have 3 first level spells, and 3 second level spells, you can do that. Or if you only want...
I can like take away from the spells that I know that are first level if I want, and learn more second level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or however you want to mix it up. So like where essentially that spells known is just like a pool of how many spells you can know at a given time. You can split that up however much you want.
Thank you. I feel better now.
Okay, good. It works different for other classes. Just because like instead of just getting like a spells known, like Justin, for example, as a cleric, your spells known is based on your modifier and your wisdom modifier and your level, right?
Well, so yes and no. So clerics know all their spells. They do, however, have to choose at the start of after each long rest, a list of spells that they have access to at that time. So thematically, the cleric wakes up and prays to his deity for the ability to do things. Druids, I think, are the same way. I'd have to double check.
They are.
Whereas sorcerers and bards, they get their magic from just kind of existing, being who they are. So they just have that pool of magic that they have access to. And then they can just use that. There's benefits to both. And then wizards are great too, because they kind of do both.
Yeah.
A little bit with the spell book.
Because they can add more spells, like their known spells is based all in their kind of like wizardy book. And I'm not sure if you want to explain more, Delton, of your wizardy character and whatnot, because you just added a bunch of new spells, right?
Yeah. I can go over like how the wizard stuff, because it is like a combination of both, and you'll see them referred to as known casters or learned casters is what like bards are, and then prepared casters are kind of like the colloquial term for what druids and clerics are. So you'll kind of see them referred to that. And wizards are kind of a halfway in between. They don't have access to prepare spells from the full like wizard spell list. The wizard has to learn it some way or another. When wizards level up, they can learn, I think, 2 new spells. They can add 2 spells to their spell book, or they can spend some time and money copying spells from another source, whether that's from another wizard spell book they found, like UFO found like the Gnomes spell book, their like community spell book, and he copied down a few spells from that. Or maybe the wizard finds like a spell scroll out in the wild that gives them an idea, and they can learn how to cast a spell using that, and it can be added to their spell book. And then similarly to clerics, at the end of a long rest, they pick an amount of spells from their spell book to get ready. So they're like going through their spell book, and it's like, okay, well, I need a bat guano for this spell. I need like a newt's eye for this spell, and they get all that ready and collect all of it, and they're ready to cast like those 5 specific spells that day.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
So, if everybody is all done with their level up, how about we kind of go around and each talk about some of the main features that each of your classes got? I know we covered the Bard extensively. We know what Nova and Ivara are getting. They have their Jack of all trades and the Song of Rest. But Bjorn, if your level up is all done, I'd like to kind of go over what you got as a fighter and everything this level up.
Yeah. So, pretty cool with level 2. I think level 3 is where you start really like getting into some like super cool stuff.
Yeah.
But you get some pretty cool stuff with level 2 at fighter. Big thing that you get is action surge. Yeah. So action surge, pretty much. I don't have the book pulled up right now, so I'm just going off the top of my head. But
that's okay.
I believe that action surge is like, let's say you expend your action, you can use your surge to have a second like main action in your turn. Yeah. So I don't think that covers attacking though, does it?
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It does.
So the main thing is that your action surge is what's called a free action. It's very rare. Most things cost like an action or a bonus action. Action surge, you just activate it, and you get a whole nother round to do whatever you want.
You get a whole other action to do whatever you want.
Action. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was a whole other action.
Second action, but.
And we aren't there yet, but when your fighter starts to get extra attack, that does like stack with extra attack. So you do 2 attacks with your original action, you action surge to get another action, and then you get another attack and extra attack. So that's 4 attacks you get to do on a single turn when you use your action surge.
Super nice.
That reminds me of I know they're not in the essentials kit, but it reminds me of the monks with the flurry of blows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And action
also,
surge.
Point of order. Action surge can be refreshed on either a long or a short rest.
Yeah. Action surges are one of those cool things that you get back every short rest.
Super nice.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
It is a major selling point to multi-classing into fighter for 2 levels.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
And then that's pretty much about it that you get at fighter. Of course, you do get to roll hit points. So I rolled my D8.
Yeah.
I risked it. It's a D10?
Yeah, fighters
you
are
get
D10.
a D10, you're a fighter, bro. What did you roll, actually?
I rolled
an 8. Just take that.
We can do the percentage. We can do a percentage, like, what'd you roll, Dan?
What is I rolled a 5. So like what is 5/8?
Well, I think it's 7.
That sounds right. What's the percentage conversion?
6. You get 1d10 or 6.
We got to do the fish.
Well, so 5 on a D8 is average. That's the average number.
How about this?
So 6 on a D10.
So it would be 6 on a D10.
Dan, I will allow you to roll a D10 if you want to re-roll it. Or you can take the average, whatever you want to do.
I just rolled a D10 and guess what I got?
6.
10.
A 5.
You're keeping it.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. I love it.
That does not smell like magic. Magic smells like cinnamon buns.
That smells like golden dung.
Oh, perfect.
Guano.
Everyone else trying to figure out what golden dung is in the ring. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Crafting.
I'm a noob.
What were you going to say,
Yeah, you use
Ashley?
that stuff for craft.
I just have a quick question about leveling up.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure I did everything.
Sure.
So-
what did you do?
I did the Jack of all trades and Song of Rest.
Yep.
Picked another first level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Increased my hit points and my hit dice.
Mm-hmm. Did you
That's it.
increase your first level spell slots from 2 to 3?
Yes, I did that too.
Okay, good. Yep. Those are the
That's
only
it.
things that changed on the table.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's the main thing. If you ever have any questions, ask your DM, ask other players, and everybody's. The biggest thing about D&D is that there's a lot of rules, and it's all like done by hand. So it's all like it's definitely a culture of like we help each other out no matter what, and give each other the benefit of the doubt. And like, you know, if somebody messes up, like don't assume that they're trying to get one over and stuff like that. It's usually they just don't know the rules, or they played with a DM who did things differently. So it's always good to kind of clarify if you're doing rules differently, or if things kind of happen, just to clarify, hey, here's how I want to do things, or here's how we do things. So
Yeah, one time I was in a campaign, my player died, came in with a new player, didn't pick a background for it. So I was like, why don't I have any money or anything like that? And I played like 2 sessions with my new character without a background until everyone was like, Ashley, you're missing something. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't think background was important. I thought that was just like flaws and stuff. So yeah, that's why I ask now if I'm missing something.
oh, that's good. Well, next up, can we go over Justin's character Doc Rivers and what he got in level 2, and then we'll finish up with UFO. Does that sound good?
Good plan.
Cool. Yeah, all right. So, like other full casters, I get access to another spell slot. For clerics, they get it's a pretty. I mean, I think it's a pretty good level, especially for the life clerics. But you get access to your Channel Divinity feature, which does a couple of things. I'll go over in just a second, and you get a Divine Domain feature. So the first I'll touch on is your Channel Divinity feature, which is your kind of like a bonus spell that uses your save DC, your normal spellcasting DC, and as an action, I can either present you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer censuring the undead. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Which is cool because a turned creature must spend its turn trying to get away from you as quickly and as far as it can. It can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you, and it cannot take reactions, which is huge because it lets your team move around the battlefield really well.
Yeah.
Because now attacks of opportunity, which are reactions, can no longer be taken by undead in this, feature radius of 30 feet, which is pretty big because it's 60 feet total, 30 on either side of you. So it can kind of be a whole room if you're willing to be a little bit bold and put yourself into the
fray.
Maybe more dangerous, but more strategic location.
Yeah.
But that's cool because you get heavy, you start with chainmail and a shield. You're good.
Super.
For your action, for its action, it can only use the dash to try to escape, and if there is nowhere to move, the creature just ends up taking the dodge action, which just means trying to like not get hit by you. I also get access to a divine, because we're not using the bonus. We're not using any of the alternative, the optional features, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, we're trying to stick to the stuff that's in the Essentials rulebook.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm going through my D&D website. I'm like, wait, skip this, right? And then my other channel Divinity feature that comes from my domain, or my domain feature, is I can present my holy symbol as an action, and I do a burst in 30 feet from any direction from me, and I heal any creatures of my choosing in that radius up to 5 times my class level.
That sounds right.
Yeah, your cleric level. So yeah. not your total level, but your cleric level. In this case, it would be 10 hit points that I can divide equally amongst the group. The really big win of this feature is that it can get somebody back up if they're down.
Boom.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yes. It of course does not work on undead or constructs.
Mm-hmm.
How close do you have to be to the creature?
Anyone within 30 feet. So again, if I move and I get into like a good location and everybody's kind of down from some sort of trap, I can bring everybody back up to, in this group it would be like 2 hit points or whatever, but
hey, we'd be not down.
Yeah, you'd be not down. And then I can do a little healing word.
A very heroic moment.
Meep. Okay, great. Was that all of the cleric features then?
That's all they get. It's level 2 is not a big. So for players watching, your level 2 is these super low levels are not as flavorful as some of the classes get when they get higher up. Some of them are amazing though. Like fighter is actually just amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
I always say like the first 3 levels are always just kind of like the tutorial levels. They kind of ease you in with a lot of features. And that's why you'll see a lot of campaigns, a lot of other DMs just start you off at level 3. So everybody kind of has like most of their basic features like already starting out and everything. So, but just so we could ease everybody in, we're just playing this adventure by the book, and that's why we're kind of starting it slow. But with that, now we'll go on with UFO! Dalton, can you give us the rundown of what UFO, the wizard, has gotten this level up?
Yeah, so level 2 is an important level for wizards because they get to pick their school of wizardry. They get to pick their little focus, and that means UFO is a newly minted evocation wizard. He's decided to specialize in evocation magic, which is fitting because he likes to make things go boom, and that's what evocation magic is good at. So in lieu of that,
what exactly is evocation magic?
Yeah, evocation magic. Let me see if I can find if the book kind of like gives a good description. Your studies focus on magic that creates powerful elemental effects like bitter cold, searing flame, thunder, lightning, acid, very like physical elemental forces.
Yeah.
Some evokers find like employment in like military forces as like war mages. UFO's using it because he wants his art to feel real to people, and he wants it to like have a tangible effect on the world. And in lieu of that, he also picked up a couple spells. He already knows a lot of the good evocation spells that like wizards are able to cast at first level. Like he already knew how to do Thunder Wave. He already knew how to do Burning Hands. Yeah. He already knew how to do Magic Missile. These are all like classic evocation staples. So he's from the city. And there, like, people all know common, but out here in the boonies, like, he might not be able to talk with everybody. So he decided to figure out how to do comprehend languages. Make sure make sure he can talk to few people because there's a little bit of a frustration with what's her face, the gnome woman who only spoke gnomish, I presume.
Ula.
Yeah, Ula, and he also he was a little scared of walking across that that like rope bridge. So he took Featherfall in case he falls off. Featherfall lets you fall slower.
Or in case anybody pushes him off.
Yeah, in case anybody pushes him off. He can cast that, fall a little bit slower, and that can affect multiple people. Like I can if my party like falls off a ledge, I can pop that.
Pushed off a ledge?
Pushed off a ledge. I can pop that, and everybody kind of floats wistfully to the ground, all safe and sound.
Until you fall off a waterfall.
Yeah, and evocation wizards.
I'm sorry, Bjorn. I love you.
Evocation wizards get a special thing at second level.
I murdered a guy.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't know if he's dead.
Listen, me and Dalton had an extensive talk about this.
Did you do the math?
He's dead.
Maybe.
I have a quick question for you, Dean.
Yeah.
For me? Okay.
Yeah. So, quick
sorry,
question.
we'll get back to UFO in just a second. Go ahead, Christian.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can finish. I thought that was everything.
Hey, then we'll come right back to this. Sorry, Dalton. Was there anything you were talking about Featherfall and everything?
Well, I was gonna say that evocation wizards get to do learn a very special skill at second level when they pick their school, and that is something called Sculpt Spells, and that's gonna be very important to UFO. And I'm gonna want to do that one live. I want to demonstrate on some of the party members how that works. Give them a little bit of a surprise later.
Awesome.
That'll be great. Was those the main features that UFO got with level 2?
That's the main thing.
Perfect. Christian, you had a question.
Awesome. So going off of Dalton's choice for one of his level 1 spells, which is Featherfall, there's something that I also just picked up.
Great.
Now, I have a question about best practices at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it considered metagaming and a bad practice to communicate with other players at the table and considering what spells you should take between each other and strategize that? Or should you kind of be individualized in how you go about that? What is, I guess, best practice there?
I personally think it's perfectly fine to discuss what kind of spells you're picking with each other, because I always imagine it like you guys are sitting at like a fire or something, and like maybe like you're like about to like you're like, hey, I'm looking to learn a new song. What do you think would help us if we run into like a bugbear or something like that? And then your other party members kind of be like, maybe UFO goes, well, I got these crazy ass fire spells that are gonna do major damage. Maybe take something like this, or what if we had something like this instead, or anything like that. I like to imagine it's perfectly fine. Because you guys are a party, you communicate with each other in your downtime anyways, and that's when this is happening. But how's everybody else feel about that?
I think it's totally reasonable, because I don't think that's something that would necessarily be secret unless you think that's something that your character would keep secret, which I guess I would say roleplay that if that's true. I guess I don't know if it's metagaming, but I did not take sleep. I was thinking about taking sleep, but I didn't take it because I knew Christian had it. When we just leveled up just now. So yeah, I don't know. I was kind of thinking like trying to diversify the pool of spells.
Well, and I think to a certain degree of game, not to a certain degree of game, I think to a certain degree, like in the game, there's going to be some modicum of metagaming. Like you can try to avoid it at all possible costs, but
not possible.
At the end of the day, like you 100%. Still hear the information. Like you still know. Like even if your character doesn't
murdered
know,
someone,
you still technically know. Like like even though none of my party knows that Bjorn murdered someone, all of you, like the players, know here. Yeah. All of you here watching know that Bjorn murdered someone. So that's still in a way a little bit of like metagaming, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're actively gaming, but it's information that you have, at a meta level, right? So yeah, I think maybe you'll have some parties out there that maybe want to go like hyper anti-metagaming and like would not allow something like that unless it was. Yeah, I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that this isn't even metagaming, in the sense that like metagaming is you using, as a human being outside of the game, using your knowledge of the game
Right.
mechanics
Right.
in a way that your character doesn't know. But in this case, our characters do know what spells our party members are casting and what they can do and what they're learning and figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I would argue in this case, it's not even metagaming, regardless of the fact that like
honestly.
metagaming is, like Dan mentioned, is can be used like in a bit of a pejorative way when it's not always necessarily a bad thing, and there's always going to be some amount of it.
Yeah, you guys are like a team of highly like skilled magic casters, and you would obviously be making I like to think that you guys make plans and discuss with each other all this kind of stuff before you go out or when you're having these long rests and stuff. So yeah, a lot of that's discussed like in your downtime. But Christian, was there a spell you had in mind that you're gonna see if you should take?
Oh, no, I had decided to those already, but
okay, great.
Yeah, it was just clarification, and I think that is totally reasonable, and something I guess perspective of how I didn't look at the long rests and like kind of in that way, especially when we're leveling up, that we're kind of discussing like those things. So that's very cool, and it makes total sense to me. So I like
especially that. Because like it's not always just like sleeping, it's also like relaxing, reading, studying spells. You and Nivara, like you guys are only in a trance for 4 hours. Like you guys are doing other stuff.
Yeah, more than other people in my life, she gets to annoy me.
Hey, you awake?
4 hours of the day for that, unfortunately.
You awake? Yeah, what you thinking about?
What you meditating about?
Yep.
Did you have that same dream again?
Did you see that weird gnome in the river?
So that's the level up. We're about to take a break in 5 minutes, but right before our break, how about we have Novo kind of rejoin the party as they're kind of resting at Nomengard. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead, Dalton, if you could switch to Roll20 whenever you get a sec. I'm gonna move your guys' tokens into kind of like the gnome resting chamber, if that's okay. So I'm going to move you guys in here where you're resting. Bjorn, I think yes, there you are. Cool. So I'm going to move you in here. Who's sleeping with who, actually? Like in what bed kind of chambers and stuff like that?
Ew, that's gross.
You get your own cot.
Doc Rivers is exhausted and just goes to the first cot he sees and just lays down.
And Bjorn finds the one next to Doc.
Okay, cool. So Nivara and UFO, you get this chamber over here. So
share with UFO. He's gonna set my clothes on fire.
You're in this. You have your own bed. sorry. I gotta speak like Fibblestit. You guys have your own bed. You're fine. But I like to think that Christian, Novo's coming back probably early morning. If you set out, I forget how. I think I said like 4 hours. So, like, I'm not sure when you set out in the morning, but if you set out at, like, 6 a.m., you're probably getting here, like, 10 o'clock or so, if you left right at 6 a.m., if that sounds fair. So maybe everybody else in the party is just waking up, maybe having some breakfast from the gnomes, which is just purple mushroom bread. UFO, maybe you're just finishing up learning your new spells or something like that, so...
Yeah, UFO might even be, like, in the workshop with Fibblestip and Dabbledop, like, working through the spell book that he found, and they're all like working together.
Okay, then I'll move you guys in there. Yeah, what do you guys? What's your kind of morning routine? What's it? That's instead of asking a party question today, let's ask everybody's morning routine. What does everybody do in the morning? Before we get into that, you may notice that compared to last week, Nomegar looks pretty crisp, pretty nice and sharp. And the reason why that is because, well, turns out, so you can, if you buy this adventure, like the physical copy of the adventure, you can actually, when you buy the box, you get a code in the box that gives you the entire adventure for free digitally as well. It's on D&D Beyond, which is already a very helpful tool for like a lot of information and everything. But yeah, so I was able to redeem that code and got all of the adventure maps for free. So we now have upgraded to these high quality player maps for everybody, and that's what we're kind of working with. Dalton is on Roll20. Is all the tokens kind of like shifted and stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, it doesn't look like that on my screen at all.
Uh-oh. Spencer messed it up.
Can you refresh real quick? Does that fix that? I'm not sure. That's so weird.
Maybe you need to refresh.
Do I need
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Where's
back.
UFO? UFO's not in the cot with me.
It was my fault. It's back to normal.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so
that is some high resolution. You can see different textures on the mushrooms and everything. Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah, they're not just like blurs.
Thank you, D&D Beyond, for allowing me to use like the free code that was in the Essentials Kit box to redeem this online. So if you're playing online like us, yeah. What's up, Ash?
Look at how clear the crab machines are. Oh my gosh, they look like crab barrels.
You can actually see the pinchers.
Yeah, I thought they were spiders before.
I thought they were like cockroaches.
Oh man. Cool. Well, all right. So where we left off, we were going to introduce all of everybody's morning routines. So UFO said he was going to be in the workshop with Dabbledob and Fibblestep, but is that what's UFO's normal morning routine and then what is he kind of doing right now?
Yeah, so UFO, much unlike the person playing him, he springs awake. Like he goes from flat to like straight up. Like he's missing tweened animation frames. It's like an optical illusion. It just like happens straight up. And he gets right to work. He breaks out some like weird chemistry looking stuff and like he makes a pot of coffee in like almost like a pretentious way. It's like a whole like chemistry getup that he does. It's like a weird like vacuum siphon like bullshit thing that he does, and it still turns out bad. Like he's still like the flame is like still too hot, and he kind of scorches the coffee a little bit, but he doesn't notice. Anybody else?
I bet Bjorn would be able to make a perfect pot of coffee.
Yeah. And in this case, he went right to the workshop to get to work on copying some of these new spells and working on some new ideas he's got with Fibblestep and Dabbledob.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to cover their morning routine next?
I can go. Oh, you go. You do it.
Nivara and Bjorn.
Nivara, even though she's a very obnoxious person, her morning is more on the quieter side. She's not necessarily not a morning person. She's just more focused on herself in the mornings. Evening routine is much more intensive than the morning routine. Evening routine, she's got to do the cuticles, got to do the facial routine. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Morning is all about training for her. So she likes to go somewhere to be by herself. So I'd imagine while she's here at Nomengard, she's going to go down by like the little river and stream. And she's going to go and practice her and she's actually going to string up, she's going to do her silks. She's going to go ahead and practice her tight roping on the river, or over that bridge over the river. And if she's able to, she'll probably try to string up the trapeze, but I don't think she's going to be able to here. So this morning, she'll just focus on the silks and the tightrope. And she actually got a new magical item last game, which was basically it's a fancy stick. It goes from being short to being long. So she's going to use the stick. She's going to make it long so she can use it to balance her while she's on the tightrope. Which is just the edge of the bridge.
I moved Nivara to the rope bridge.
Yeah, so she's just gonna focus on training for a good hour or two. So like if she has to get up early, she will, because she just has to do that trance. So she really focuses on training in the morning. Very long-winded. Sorry about that, but
Ashley,
no, that's perfect.
do you think Nivara would have gotten along with the Slackline Bros in college, or would she like see that as like beneath her?
I think that she secretly would have gotten along with the Slackline Bros, but she would act like she's better than all of them. Like she'd be like, "Oh, look at these amateurs slacklining on the green outside in the quad," but she'd do it with them. Like she'd do it with them. She would just, kind of look down her nose at them, but secretly she'd like be getting along with the Slackline Bros.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yes. She'd be secretly glad that people enjoy her tightrope art. She just wouldn't let on.
All right. Bjorn, what is your morning routine?
Yeah. So very much like the person who plays him, Bjorn struggles to get up in the morning. Often needs to be woken up with pots and pans, other essentials, other kitchen essentials, just metal things just slamming together. When he finally does get up, he basically just does that to his beard, does that to his hair, and just goes, "All right, let's do it." It's very much back when he was a noble. He would go through all these routines and all this,
Oh yeah,
crazy stuff, right? So
getting properly dressed.
Yeah, he hates that. He hates all of that. He just just wants to roll out off his cot and all right, let's go.
Is he partaking in the mushroom wine, or maybe eating some bread right now?
Oh, very much.
Okay.
Oh, he partook in more of it the previous night.
Perfect.
and of both the bread and the wine. Hoping that he learned how to make it, if that's possible.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, you have a crafting kit. So, like, how about I put you in the kitchen with, like, Turvaround and everybody, and, like, maybe, like, you're, like, conversing with them to, like, learn how to make the mushroom wine and such like that. Does that sound good? Okay.
That sounds amazing.
Perfect. All right. And Mr. Dr. Rivers, Mr. Doctor, Doc Rivers, what is your morning routine and what are you doing?
Dr. Professor Patrick.
How high up is this?
Is what? Sorry, I missed that.
Is this cliff here?
Oh, 30 feet. I believe 30. Hold on. Yeah. That
Okay,
sounds right.
cool. So Doc Rivers is up earlier than most. And
Of course he is. He's old.
It's true. He's up earlier than most. And his armor is just kind of like piled at the foot of his bed, and he actually just he grabs some rope. All of this is silent, by the way. He's just not talking. Bjorn is just hard sleeping, just face down, out, and just in my normal kind of clothes, walk over here with my crossbow in hand and the rope, and I shoot a bolt into the ground and tie my rope to it and come down here and just wash up. This would, give himself a little sniff before scrubbing a little harder.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to just climb back up and go And as you're walking by, like he's like drying himself off, and you see just scars all over his body. And he goes and just real quietly, like starts to put back on his armor. Loops up his rope. And at this point, it's about time to get Bjorn up, and he slaps him on the chest a couple of times. Not super hard, but like,
wakes him up.
Stop dwarf.
Yeah.
Good old. Let's do this. Then he goes with Bjorn into wherever Bjorn went.
To the wine cellar and everything?
Yep. That's where Bjorn's going? That's where we're going.
Okay. Oh no, he went to the kitchen to learn how to make wine.
Where is that?
It is in the top. Yes, there you go. The bolt you were tying the rope. I thought you were going to go fishing. Were you?
No, he's just cleaning himself off.
Okay. Cool.
He's just like he went to go bathe in the river.
Yeah, perfect.
And that's when he gets all his spells.
Yeah. Okay, great.
There's lots of this would be a better. I guess this is like a good silent film. I'm sorry, I didn't think this description through. I thought it'd be like, oh, yeah, he's like, it's all solemn and everything and quiet as he's doing this, and he's just covered in scars, and he goes and he just like cleans himself up and puts his hair back behind. And
yeah,
that sounds badass. Like I feel like that would be a scene in like The Witcher or something.
Oh
yeah, there you go, something like that.
Yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
Doc Rivers cameos.
So Novo, what's your morning routine? What you kind of wake up back at the end and stuff like that. Like Toblin's still letting you sleep there for free. Like maybe you reassure him, like, hey, we'll be back like soon, and we'll have another performance. And he's like, yeah, I can't wait. But what's your morning routine kind of like?
Yeah, sure. So Novo wakes up much like Dr. Rivers, very early, and alike his twin, finds that a good start of the day is when there are no disturbances, when everything is still peaceful and quiet around him. He is able to kind of feel renewed and start the day anew. So he wakes up rather early in the morning, and waking up in the inn and in the room in the inn, he often finds books still kind of opened and placed on his chest, and blueprints and documents strewn across the bed, if he fell asleep studying and reading. He pushes those things aside, and he finds comfort often in the morning to receive a cup of tea and meditate on what he has learned, and to solidify that, and then progress off into his whatever he may need to do. So from here, he again kind of reassured the innkeeper that they would be back in payment another another performance that would bring the entire town in to sell basically goods for the innkeeper and brooms and all that, and he makes his way around 6 a.m. back to Nomengard, in hopes that he will be able to bring a barrel crab out with the party to help in further adventures towards the destruction of Cryovane.
I've got a question for Novo. So, considering that Nivara and Novo have been traveling with each other, living with each other for the better part of the past 200 years. What does he think about having a night away from his sister? Is he excited about it? Does he kind of miss her? Is it weird? Any other thing that was not one of the options I gave?
I would describe that he almost feels like a new man. That that this ball and chain you know, and it kind of feels free spirited, lifted, almost in a rare but like giddy mood, you know, coming back. But it is weird. It is weird. He is concerned. He is concerned about Naivara's health and whereabouts. Of course, he did not find anyone back in town and traced, his steps back, or the party steps back to Nomengard. So hopefully nobody, perished. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So what else? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to answer the same question from Naivara's point of view.
Go ahead. Yes.
So from Naivara's point of view, she is perfectly capable of being independent of her brother. She's fine with him not being there. Like, she gets along just fine, does all of her things just fine. But she kind of misses him a little bit. She doesn't want to admit it. But she kind of like wakes up and, I'd imagine that usually when they're together, she'd be the annoying sister who, like, Anna in Frozen style, like, jumps on your bed and is like, do you want to do some silk dancing? Do you want to play your lute? So I'd imagine that she kind of wakes up and she kind of forgets that Novo's not there, and like she's fine. She goes about her normal routine as she would, but she like kind of misses him. She's like, oh yeah, he's not there. So she does not regard him as a ball and chain.
I like to think that maybe in the middle of your trance in the night, maybe you kind of like you thought of something. You're like, oh, I gotta tell Novo this, and you like kind of wake up. You're like, Novo, and you look over, and it's UFO.
And it's UFO.
Yeah, and you go, oh, and maybe go back to your trance or something like that. Yeah, so that's really sweet. Well, speaking of which, so Novo, let's kind of describe your journey back in here. And what we'll do is we'll have Novo kind of like go to every part of like Nomengard as you guys kind of go back to say goodbye to the kings maybe. And he'll gather up each of the party members. So you kind of go up the same way you kind of came in, and you make your way past like maybe the dining area and go to the kitchen. And maybe you see Turv around still just trying to push those mushrooms the wrong way. And like every couple of minutes, Doc just comes in, rotates it, push in the right way, and Turv around just doesn't get it. Bjorn's probably over here with this blue-haired gnome named Dimble, trying to like understand his machine and how it compresses everything. And Bjorn, after probably a couple 5 minutes of like studying this, you realize that you could do this same process with like 2 steps that this thing is doing with 27. So, and you take some notes, and then you guys kind of like, maybe you all 3 of you kind of continue down, and you work your way down past the broken shambles of the crossbow machine. Maybe Bjorn and Doc Rivers kind of show you the Blackie Icker remains of like the mimic that still hasn't. It's like washed in this room with like a bunch of wine still kind of like floating in the center. But then you go back, you say hi to the guards, Ula and Pog, and then you have to like climb over the crab barrel, and like you run into Naivara like tightrope walking on the rope bridge, and you guys kind of continue on. Whoops, I gotta get there. We go.
I say when we're coming up on Naivara, we see her tightroping on the bridge. as I call out, "Oh, hello, sister," and I just slam down on the bridge a little bit to create a little bit of a wave to throw her off balance.
Naivara, can you give me a acrobatics check?
Sure can.
roll with like a +2 to your normal modifiers or proficiencies and such, because you're using the pole for balance, and it's helping you out pretty significantly.
Ooh, that makes it a +6 for me.
Nice.
Oof.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine.
Yeah. And after Novo does that, I'm gonna kind of like stick my tongue out and just go blow raspberry at him, and continue what I'm doing.
Okay, cool. Maybe you guys work your way. Novo, you kind of recognize that there's like these giant metal fans in this room, and they are not moving, but you do see a switch on the other side of the room, and probably could have guessed that this is maybe something that could have been quite deadly if these things were moving at high speeds. But then you join like this workshop where you hear Fibblestib and Dabbledop or arguing over more inventions, while UFO's just probably trying to get more info on magic and stuff like that. But they just keep like talking about like, no, I got this great invention. It's like you put it on your head and it like has this like flat thing in front of it and it blocks the sun. And and that's what Fibblestib does. And Dabbledoff goes, no, that's so it's gonna require so much material. Look, let's just take this handkerchief and like, look, you can tie it around back and it covers your hair up. Looks really nice. It works the same way. So they're arguing over like a baseball cap and like a do-rag.
A bandana,
right
yeah.
Yeah. But then, yeah, maybe you guys work your way to the kings and whatnot, and maybe you say your goodbyes. I'm going to let you guys take it from here. I was just trying to kind of like, let you guys take it at your own pace and kind of like reunite the party and everything. But what would you guys like to do from here? Do you want to like say goodbye to the kings? Do you want to move on and start going on back? Or what's the plan?
Question.
Yeah. Oh, what's of it?
Did I notice anything when I was down by the river doing my silks this morning?
No, you wouldn't have noticed anything. If there was anything to notice, that moment might have already passed.
Bummer. That's all. I'm ready to head out whenever the party is.
I would definitely coming back. I guess at this point it would be because we're kind of just meeting up with each other and everything. So we kind of all together at this point. I would want to kind of talk with the party and just the findings that I found back in Phandalin, and I guess so. I would say, as we're coming up to the kings and everything, I'd say in my time in Phandalin, I was able to find with the help of Halia from the Miners Exchange, we were able to produce a blueprint in which we could retrofit this heavy crossbow that we got off of is it Factor?
Factor, yes.
Factor. Factor's machine, and we were able to put it on to one of the crabs. I know there was another crab in the room in which we got the first one caught up in the bridge. Do you think the kings will allow us to take the last one with us?
Oh, I think we should take both.
How are you gonna get out of the bridge?
I'm gonna do it. I don't know how.
Worse for wear.
I don't know if it's worth it.
What? It's a barrel crab. What? Why wouldn't it be worth it?
What do we? You want to cut the bridge to release the barrel crab?
No, I figured I'd just like pick up the barrel crab or something.
I mean, you could try. It's going to need even more repairs than anything that I prepared for. I just found I can't even put the crossbow on the machine. I just know have the blueprints to do so.
Yeah. Let me consult with my special wizard here. I have a special advisor I need to consult with real quick. Mhm. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we pair that we want to try whatever means necessary to get the barrel crab released. So, is that how could this happen?
So by the way, Bjorn has a cat with his token. Does Bjorn actually have a cat with him at all times?
Could be a thing.
Okay, I'll let you figure that out later if you want, but I'll allow that for sure. So,
What do you think? Okay. To everyone watching, this is Bella. Oh, wait, hold on. Camera's not.
There she is.
She is.
She's sweet.
She's so precious.
Hi,
She
Bella.
is precious. All right, come on. Dad's doing stuff. There we go. All right, bye.
Aww.
All right, well, now that the cat's gone, back to D&D. Yeah, so like, how tangled is this thing?
If you spend some time working on it, you can get it untangled. That's not impossible to do. Getting it across the bridge is probably impossible, but untangling it is not. It would just take time. I think I said an hour last session.
Yeah, so I do that.
Okay. So Bjorn, are you going to go start working on that while the party's meeting with the kings and such?
Can I possibly have done that last night?
I thought you were drinking wine last night. Sure, that's fine.
There we go.
I mean, those two things can happen at the same time.
Yeah, he was just drinking
I mean,
wine,
they're not mutually exclusive.
drunkenly trying to get the crab out.
All right, it's parked.
The whole process.
It's
Yeah.
parked
We do
in
have
front of
this
Ula and Pog.
fascinating technology, guys. There's this incredible, fascinating technology. It's called cups.
Yeah, I don't know if you never spent just a good old fashioned night getting sloshed and untying knots. I don't know if you've ever had that kind of night.
Yeah, have you never gotten super drunk and tried to put IKEA furniture together? Like, it's a process when you're sober.
It's a thing. It's quite the thing, you know. It's a lot.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, you did that last night. It's free. It's parked in front of the guards Ula and Pog.
What are some of the
No
expletives?
consequences for my action.
Bjorn, what are some of the expletives that the two gnome guards heard while you were doing this in the middle of the night?
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the first one's one syllable. The second one is two syllables. Okay. And then the third one will be three syllables.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Sure, I'm going to try.
All right, go. Shit. Shit.
That
Fuck,
didn't-
motherfucker. Goddamn cock. Doggy balls.
It didn't beep any of them out.
You guys will still be able to hear it.
Bleep any of that.
It's just on the end. In the stream, you won't hear it.
The stream you won't hear it.
Yeah,
but
I can't.
But we heard all of it.
I can't cut Dan's mic from my apartment.
Practices would not be happy.
Whoops. Sorry, Twitch.
Twitch didn't get to hear it. We did.
We did. We're special.
Also, your second one was 4 syllables.
Yeah, I just kind of went with.
Bjorn, don't count real good.
When you're drunk, syllables start
Dan
to
don't count
they
real good,
combine.
all right, let's be real here. We're just working into the character.
I was trying to be nice, Dan. No.
Ooh.
We love you, Bjorn and Dan.
Okay,
That's
you
what
spent the
Bjorn
night.
does.
You spent the night freeing it out. You cursed a lot. You got very drunk.
Sweet.
So, what's the party's next decisions?
I think we can give just a courteous, quick thanks for all of your assistance with the dragon to the kings.
Yeah.
I think we should probably get out of here. We've got more
Quests.
more adventuring to do. We heard we have a woman we need to warn about the dragon on our way back.
Oh yeah.
And give a quick shout out, like if you're ever in town, come by. What was the name of the tavern?
Oh, I know this. It is Stonehill Inn.
Yeah, and like if you're ever in town on like a I don't know what are the days of the week in this? Is this normal days of the week?
So like D&D has like what's called 10 days.
Yeah, it's 10 days per week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I don't think they...
why?
What do you mean?
That's such an arbitrary change to make.
Because
But I
We
guess
have
so
an
is
extra day every 4 years. What do we?
They
Yeah, but
simplified it.
extra day every 4 years, or a year that lasts what, like 30% longer, 30 something. I don't, whatever 3 divided by 7 is. What is this with fractions tonight?
There's even weirder stuff in like Earth time. Like go Google leap seconds, because we have to do those every few years too.
Oh.
seems silly.
No.
I think for the most part, they just refer to like their 10 days, like whatever day it is, like, like the 1st or the 10th and whatnot. So,
Okay.
I just think it was cool that just in general, we were able to get everybody to say that it is 8:51 or 8:53, whatever it is. 8:53. Who's
Like getting rid
in
of
this
daylight
time
or
zone.
keeping daylight savings permanent or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I did hear that they were thinking about doing that. Anyways,
I think they
D&D.
passed the bill.
No, it still has to be signed. It passed Congress and the House, but anyway, American politics is a whole thing that I don't
It's
want to talk
beyond the
about.
scope of the stream.
But yeah, give a quick shout out to our performances every like Thursday or whatever day it is that we do our performances. Freitag.
oh yeah, we're very familiar with that one.
Yeah, whatever day of the week we perform. If you're ever in town, we're performing.
Cool.
wanna
They
see us again.
make like a note and they make they say thank you. They thank you again for your services and helping them defeat the mimic and whatnot. And they make a promise to come visit some of your shows and everything. Because normally they're more reclusive and such like that, but because they're so grateful, they're interested in seeing some of your shows in Vandalin. So
Great. And with that, I think we can move on. Move to
I want to make sure, like taking both crab barrels here. Is that good? Is that in our deal?
So King Nurgle and King Kerbos kind of look at each other, and they both and like Nurgle goes, "Wait, you guys are taking our barrel crabs?"
Yeah.
Can we?
Somebody told us we could. Well, one of them,
King Kerbos.
Yeah, it was Bizzle Boop Boop and Skidabop said that we could take them.
King Kerbos goes, "But Bizzle Boop and that was my mother and father. They're dead."
Yeah. I talked to their ghosts. I'm psychic.
You talk to their. How are they doing? How's Grandma? Grandma Vidva?
She's still
at this
she's
point,
still a bitch.
Ah,
She's good.
Of course.
You
Even
know?
in the afterlife, couldn't temper her spirit.
Yeah, exactly. She's still a feisty character for sure. Your mom's great. She's recently started taking up knitting.
Knitting.
Your dad's very into bird watching.
He always thought knitting was
Particularly when birds are mating. That's when your dad's really interested in watching.
Oh.
I go into like some really like descriptive stuff that's like really weird, and you're like, how this is too descriptive to be a lie, but this is like.
So why are you doing this? I'm gonna whisper into Bjorn's ear, or like as quietly as I can, but in Dwarven, because I can speak Dwarven. and
Oh.
I want to tell him that tell them they said that whatever our quest is noble and that has the grace and permission of Nomengard, of its ancestors that have passed, that we must take what we need.
And like the whole time you're saying that, I'm just like, yeah. So then I look back at whatever their names are, and I'm just like, oh yeah, they also say you should just let us have the crabs.
Ufo
Give me a persuasion check with Novo helping you. Or wait, it's you use the modifier of whoever's higher for them.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be.
I would imagine.
I would hope that our bard's persuasion check is high. Mine's negative. So, Novo, what is yours?
Oh man.
No.
What are we gonna do with them, you guys? That's the real question. That's the real question.
We'll cross that bridge when we get
Crossbows
there,
to them.
and it'll get tangled all up in it
Do
again.
you know what it is, Christian?
My persuasion modifier?
Yes.
Yeah, it's +4.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
can
So
you-
I roll it twice, or I roll with his?
Twice.
With
With
his.
his and twice, because he's helping you.
Okay.
So the first one was 15.
Oh, I just hit =4. Okay,
And a
so a
4.
15 is the highest.
Okay, cool. Now, this is a good time to kind of talk more about persuasion checks. Now, for the most part, D&D doesn't give exact rules on how to like talk about persuasion exactly. For the most part, it considers it just like any other skill check. I know I like to, as a DM, to consider how logical a statement is and apply that to whether or not that may lower or like help out the difficulty check when you're talking to a person. So currently, like I'm taking into account of like, okay, King Nurgle and King Kerbaz, like how much do they feel that these barrel crabs are essential to their kingdom, and making that as a difficulty check, but then also taking what Bjorn and Novo are telling them and trying to convince them. And their argument is, well, your ancestors said that we should have the barrel crabs, and so you should give them to us, and kind of weighing that on a difficulty check and then having everybody roll. So Dan rolled a 15, and King Nurgle and King Kerbaz look at each other and look back, and Nurgle goes, look, we don't want to turn you guys down. We're very thankful, but the barrel crabs are essential for moving those wine barrels to our storage area. We don't have anybody big enough to move those barrels, so we'd like to keep them here if we could. Maybe you could borrow them in the future, but like for right now, we want to keep them here. Just like, you know, maybe if you're fighting the dragon, just let us know and we can send it your way. But for now, we'd like to keep it here.
Ufo's gonna he'll pipe up. He's like, yeah, I think just to the parts, like think how cool it would be if the gnomes come in like over the horizon, like riding those barrel crabs in like the 9th hour to like fight this dragon. I think that'd be rad. I think we should let that happen just for the cinematic, like the scene.
But that could be us, Ufo.
It could be us, couldn't it?
It could be us.
I could be the one riding over the
Maybe we should
horizon
just
in a
let the
barrel
little
crab.
people have their machines.
Little. All right. Well, when you say little people, I look at him and little people.
But they're
You look
littler
up.
than
You look up at him and
Barely.
say, "Little people."
Well, you are a little person, Ufo. You are like half my size.
Oh, I know I'm little.
You
I
are
know I'm
not
small.
10 foot tall, Rivers.
I am
know
not.
that.
I'm
There's
barely
like-
taller than them, and I am not little.
What we folk? What do we want to? This is, you know,
I'm actually not sure what the name. What
I
like?
am advocating for letting the people keep their machines, and somehow this turned out to be like, yell at Doc.
Gaslighting.
I am being gaslit.
In the middle
That's
of
right, Bjorn.
everybody harshing on Doc. King Kerbaz goes, well, you know, I'm not sure how good our barrel crabs would be against fighting a dragon. They're really only good for lifting barrels.
Ah, see.
Okay.
You would think so. But I have actually come up with blueprints with the help of a lovely woman back in
Halia.
Phandalin. Halia, yeah, yes. And it looks like we could actually retrofit weaponry that you have used within Nomengard to the barrels themselves. So this could be helpful in us showing you maybe making duplicates of this blueprint so that you are able to furnish these in the future for your defense, while also allowing us to use this for our quest in killing the Cryovane.
Kerbaz kind of like puts out his hand like for the blueprints. Do you hand it to him?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
To look at. Yeah.
He takes it. He kind of looks at it. He shares it with Nurgle, so they're both kind of like looking over it, and they hand it back to you, and they go, "This is great. This reminds me of Factor's work, even though he was insane. Look, why don't you take this to Dabbledob and Fibblestib? I'm sure they can get to work on fitting our barrel crabs with some crossbows. This is a great idea. Did you figure this out yourself? Oh, well, with Halia, of course, but like this is wonderful."
Yes, while my party, of course, led the valiant fight against the Mimic, I took the time that I hope is not wasted here, in figuring this out.
Really, this is a great boon to our kingdom. We make a promise to you now by helping fit our kingdom with better defenses. We promise to you, send word when you need aid, and we will be there for you.
Okay.
So
What's
they'll
the
hang
best way
on
to reach
the
you
things
guys?
for us, and we get to use them later. Best of both worlds, guys.
What's the best way to reach you guys in a pinch?
Birds.
What kind? Like owls?
Yellow.
Yellow
Nice.
birds?
And then Kerbaz goes, actually, I kind of like red.
Oh.
Nurgle goes, but bluebirds are kind of pretty too.
That's not what we were. Hey! Do you have like Do you have like a magic stone that we can talk to you through or something?
Huh? No. What?
No?
Magic
Yeah.
stones?
Yeah.
Do you have a
sometimes they're
bird we can
stones,
take with
and you
us?
like you tap on it, and you're like, "Can you hear me now?"
What? You should just talk to the birds, and they'll talk to us.
I can't talk to birds. That's not a. That's a you thing,
I do have.
Kerbopple.
They both look at you.
I do actually have experience with animals.
You can talk to birds?
You can talk to birds, Brian?
I can't talk to birds, but I can handle them.
Okay.
Can you maybe
that'll work?
tie a letter to them?
Oh, maybe.
Something.
Okay. So we'll talk to you through the birds.
Somehow.
They just
Sometimes
nod their
it's
heads.
weird.
Like, remember when you guys like were like figuring out Mage Hand and they just assumed you guys had Mage Hand?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like you guys are talking like I can't talk to birds, and they're just looking at you like, what?
Yeah, we can't talk to birds. What if we can't talk to birds? How would we reach you?
You just okay. Write a letter.
Regular?
Yeah.
Is that
write a letter?
Oh, write a letter. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you said regular, Kerbopple.
Nah, we'll make the
What
bird
do you mean?
thing
How do I
happen.
regular communicate? What is that? You talk to birds. That's regular for you. I clearly have no idea what's going on with you and your gnomishness.
Well, even though you guys are in the middle of discussion about how to reach them, they both take a big bow and they go, "Well, thank you for stopping by our lovely kingdom, and you guys know the way out. Have a great day, and we'll see you later."
I'm gonna turn to my party and I'm gonna be like, I think we overextended our welcome.
Yeah. Let's get out of here. I hate this place.
You do not.
Nothing makes sense.
Really, I kind of enjoyed it.
There were those crabs.
Almost died.
You're
Get out
fine.
of here, you guys.
I
Start
definitely
walking.
missed a lot that happened here. But, yeah, I think I'm good to move on.
All right, so you guys, Novo, do you drop off the blueprint with Dabbledob and Fibblestip on your way out and kind of continue on?
Yeah. So are we assuming here that in the future that they have the ability to replicate this now that they've had the blueprints, or is that something we'll just find out?
Yeah, UFO's gonna turn to like Novo's probably like asking us this like as we walk out. And UFO's just like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's like 50-50 whether or not they knew what that stuff meant. It could go one way or the other. Like I spent some time, like they're smart, but in like a very unique way and in a very specific way. So we're gonna hope that they figure this out, and maybe Factor will show up and he'll be able to do something. Because this guy seemed to have a knack for crossbows, I guess. But I mean, we'll see.
He did come up with that machine that almost impaled everybody in our party. Yeah, that does not inspire much confidence, but I would say that if we want to use this machine in a offensive manner, then we will need a little bit of time with it before we need to use it.
I mean, honestly, if Factor would work on the machine, I mean, he loves retrofitting crossbows onto things. I feel like he'd probably do fairly well following those blueprints and putting crossbows on it, as annoying as he is. I mean, he might shoot some crossbows at us from the crab barrel, but I'm sure he'd be good at it.
Yeah, and there's no reason that Factor wouldn't help you guys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like we won't count on it, but it'd be nice if they showed up.
I'm pretty sure he'll help us out.
We'll work on some other contingencies.
Yeah.
Very well.
Should we try to find him before we leave and ask him to work on the crab, or?
I think Doc wants to get the hell out of
here. He must
here.
already be working on it.
I don't know if I want to look that guy in the face ever again, honestly.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
that's
kind
true.
of
He
need
did try and kill us.
his help, but if you guys just want to abandon the crabs, I mean, whatever.
We're not abandoning the crabs. We're just going to come back to the crabs later after Factor's had a chance to work on them. We just don't want to deal with Factor. And,
Okay.
you know, he's not shooting at us right now, so I really don't think we should push it any further than that.
Yeah, plus we should really
We'll just assume everything's going fine.
We should really get to this woman and warn her about the dragon, just because she's from what the quest said, she was pretty secluded, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried about her.
Yeah, I agree with UFO. Let's do that. And we have to head back anyway, right?
Yeah, she's on the way. I think she's on the way back.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's on the way back.
All right. Let's go rescue that woman.
How far away is this place, do you think, from here?
I'm gonna bring you guys to the Sword Coast map, and kind of show you kind of more like in detail, like where you guys are in relation and everything. So it on this map, and tell me if you guys can't see it. I was trying to mess with the text to make it more readable, and I was having a hard time. But if you go down to the southern end of the map, there is Phandalin just off the Tribord Trail. And Nomengard, it's kind of like southeast of Phandalin, and that took about, I think I said for you guys 4 hours to get there, something like that. Going to Umbridge Hill is like gonna take you like 3 hours to get there, but from Umbridge Hill to Phandalin, it's only like the 1 hour ish. So it won't take you too long to get there. So it's just, as you can see, it is on the way back as you're kind of moving. So yeah, you guys can kind of make your way to Umbridge Hill and whatnot.
Nice.
So, does anybody want to reread the Umbridge Hill quest while I kind of move you guys to that location?
Sure.
I got you, buddy.
Thank you, Justin.
The Umbridge Hill quest. The local midwife, an acolyte of Shantea, named Adabra Gwyn. Adabra Gwyn lives by herself in a stone windmill. That's cool. On the side of a hill a few miles south of Phandalin. With dragon sightings being common, it's not safe for her to be alone. Urge Adabra to return to Phandalin once she's safe, visit the town master, and we'll get 25 gold. All right, 25 gold
Okay.
can buy a lot of beer.
I have a question.
What's your question, Navarra?
Why would the town midwife live a few miles away from town? Babies aren't going to wait for her to take like an hour to get to town. Baby's going to be born by the time the midwife's in town. I'm just saying.
Maybe she's got like an estate or something. She needs
she's
to
not-
grow turnips.
It sounded like she was only like an hour out, and like that's
Rhubarb.
probably like it marching. If she hurries, if she has a horse, get that
You have
down.
nine
Ah,
months of
that's
prep time.
true.
What was that,
You do
Spencer?
have 9 months of prep time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess when you go into labor, you're not going to have your baby like
On the way to Umbridge.
right then.
Yeah.
Unless you're the goats that we had at work, because she didn't even go into labor and then she had 3 goats. So,
At work.
yeah. Apparently, there's actually 4 now.
Yeah,
There were
remember
3 when I
night.
left work last week, and now there's 4 goats this week. So.
Does Naivara like work on birthing goats on the side?
They were
Oh,
born at a-
sorry,
in a
this is
circus.
Ashley.
Yeah.
This is
No.
Ashley.
Naivara, you go
Ni-
side hustle go herd.
No, she does
Get a little
deliver like
Trevor?
circus animals though,
Like cheese.
like foals and elephants and stuff in the
Oh, that's
circus.
cool.
Are there
Oh
elephants?
yeah, that's
in
right.
this
You did
world?
work in a circus, right? So there'd be animals everywhere.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to
Back at
scoop
your old work.
poop and deliver baby animals.
Oh.
On the way to
Scoop and poop
Umbridge
is
Hill,
the worst part.
Yeah.
Ufo's like, hey, I was working with Fibblestip and Dabbledop, and I had an idea for a thing. Can I like get a volunteer from one of you guys? I want to try something. Now that we're like not in a secluded area.
Yeah, Bjorn will do it.
Bjorn, Bjorn's
I'm
in.
not paying attention.
Yeah. Also gonna act like I'm not paying attention.
Okay. I
Didn't hear it.
only need the one, and like I want to like go to like a there's probably like a cliff, like a stone, like a big stone wall.
Yeah,
And it's
just
like,
kind of
okay.
like it drops 20 feet or so.
Yeah, and I want to like, okay, Bjorn, and I'm trying to like position him in a specific way, and it's like, okay, Bjorn, like, I need you to stand here, and everybody else, watch this, this is gonna be awesome. And I kind of like fan my fingers out like I'm about to cast Burning Hands, and I cast it like directly at Bjorn, like straight at him, and the fans of flame like magically like move around him, and Bjorn, you find yourself like not being burned at all by the fire. Like it just kind of like moves and like swooshes around you.
Hot. Hot. It's so hot. Oh my god, I'm dying.
Did you?
Oh wait.
You
Oh
could have
wait.
told us you could do this.
I
Oh
just
wait. Hold on. I'm not dying. This is actually pretty cool.
I just had this idea. Like when we were fighting the
Not what I
mimic,
expected.
it grabbed onto you, right? And I wanted to just like blast it with some flame, but I couldn't without hurting you.
Right.
So I figured I might be able to like shape the spell like around you, but still hit other stuff. And that's what I was working on with the gnomes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No.
I'm really unhappy with the way you showed us that you can do this, but I'm really happy you can do this. I thought you almost lit Bjorn on fire for no reason.
If I lit Bjorn on fire, I'd have a reason.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's pretty much got a reason to light me on fire.
Aw.
But like I think this
I
could
want
be
to light you on fire, Bjorn.
this could be
Yeah,
really
well,
cool
I
for
mean,
some
if
of the
you did, it'd be okay.
performances.
No, we don't light you on fire. Are you okay, Bjorn?
Savage. I'm fine. Yeah, no. It's good. It's totally didn't murder anyone the other day. It's totally fine.
I know you didn't. We were with you
Yep.
the whole time. That's a weird thing to just remind us of, but I'm glad, buddy. Yeah, let's
yeah.
go up this hill. Do.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily refer to a mimic as someone, but
Yeah. Well,
well,
I just
yeah.
that mimic had a life too. I feel bad.
It started the fight.
I mean, it ate.
Yeah, you know what? You guys are
Gnomes.
right. I'm over it. Thanks, guys. You guys are the greatest friends.
Yeah, come on. Let's go to this.
Let's go get
Let's go get the midwife.
Let's go get some stuff.
You guys didn't start the fire. It was always burning.
Deliver some babies.
All right.
The world keeps turning.
So, you guys are who's leading in this kind of group? I'm gonna put you. Sorry, Justin. I'm gonna put you at the base of this hill right here because something's gonna happen when you get here. So, at the base of this hill, can you guys kind of arrange yourself in like party formation down here? Dalton, it is on the top left corner of the map.
I got it.
Cool.
I'm just picturing what should I call this? Nomi Joel? Billy Noel?
Billy Gnome.
Nomal? Like a tiny little like gnome Billy Joel playing a piano.
Playing a flying organ.
He's like standing up. He's like standing up on the stool, and he has to like lean all the way across to like get to the high notes and the low notes. Like running back and forth across the stool.
It's hilarious.
Sing us a song, you're the organ man.
Okay, so you guys get here, and if everybody has their party position, I'm gonna read a little text blurb because you guys reach Umbridge Hill, and this is what happens. Built on the slope of Umbridge Hill is an old stone windmill surrounded by an iron fence. A large, winged monster with a spiky tail is trying to knock down the windmill's front door. A woman appears in the second floor window and waves at you. A little help? And then let me reveal kind of like what is happening. So you see this large creature banging down the door. He's like flying and like he's like kind of like flying and like whipping his tail underneath him at the base of this like windmill and like kind of like banging on here. And then how these maps are set up is they kind of like show the floors on different areas. Whoops, that was hide instead of reveal. So in the upper right, you can kind of see basically what I'm going to show you is there we go. Here's like the woman up here on the second floor, and she's calling out to you on the second floor, which is actually like of the windmill right here. She's like, help! Hey, a little help! She's like waving towards you, and there's this giant flying creature just like slamming its tail into this door up at the top here. So with that, we're gonna do this in initiative order. So could everybody roll initiative for me?
Oh.
Right. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Remember, players, just because you are in a turn order does not mean you necessarily have to attack. You can, but we are just in a turn order now. You do not necessarily have to.
Yeah, so
for your players at home.
That doesn't mean combat has started, like Ashley has said. Essentially, in order to keep it organized, I'm just going to have everybody roll initiative to kind of determine who gets to kind of react to this immediate situation first. You still get your action, bonus action, and movement like you did before, but like combat hasn't started yet. So depending on how the party kind of proceeds, we'll kind of see how this kind of happens. So I'm going to roll for this guy. He is going very slow. Okay. Oh, I gotta add you guys to the turn order. Sorry about that. I thought it would stay the same. All right, add turn. Oh no, there you guys are. Okay, just populate it.
I only see Nivara in the turn order.
Oh, really?
I also only see now I see no one.
I see no one in the turn order.
All right, here we go.
Come on, I'm refreshing. Roll 20.
No. It's probably on my end. So it still had it.
They're loading.
Preloaded on the other way, but now I'm just adding everybody in.
What you had, Spencer?
Yeah.
You had the last map's tokens in the turn order.
That's
not
what I thought.
This current map's tokens in the turn order.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Thanks for subscribing, Nick Jones. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
There we go.
Ooh.
Okay, so Nivara, did you roll 16? Is that what you put in?
Sure did.
Awesome.
Put that in there.
Novo, you also rolled a 16, correct?
So it's
Yes,
the
sir.
higher dex who goes first, right?
Yeah, so who has a higher dex then?
I have a +2 to my dex.
Oh,
Christian, what do you have? Yep.
I also rolled a 16.
16 in total?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your dex, Dan?
My dex is a 12.
12? So currently that's lower than Ivara, right?
Because I have a
Yeah.
15 for dex.
And then
Yeah.
Nova, what is your dex?
Dexterity.
Yes.
Dexterity is 14.
14. Okay. So
The better twin strikes again.
it goes Nivara, Novo, and then Bjorn. And then Ufo, Doc Rivers, and then whatever this flying, spiky-tailed creature is. All right, so Nivara, you see the midwife, or what appears to be the midwife, calling out to you from the second floor. Help, come help, while this giant, flying, spiky-tailed creature is knocking that front door down. What do you do?
I'm going to use my 6 seconds of speech to call out to the spiky-tailed creature, and I'm going to say, halt! Why are you blowing down this poor midwife's door? And then I would like to ready an action. Can I do that?
Sure. Just to let you know, it's 105 feet away from you right now. So you're just trying to scream at it?
Oh, it's 105 feet away. I'm going to use my movement.
Yes.
And I'm going to dash also with my action. So I'm going to go 60 feet.
Yes.
And it's like, that's the second floor of the Mendwell. Which way do I need?
Kind of like
I'm going to move 60 feet towards it.
Yeah, like kind of to your south. Like if you look at the lines, those are like showing like the different like points of the hill as it raises up.
Yeah, I'm
so
guessing
like this bottom line is 0 feet, the second line's 10 feet up, and the third line is 20 feet. So you're just like running uphill to the
Is my movement the same?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same.
So I'm gonna dash towards it. So that's my movement and my action. And hopefully it can hear me now because I am now like 55 feet away from it. Yeah. And I am then going to use my 6 seconds of speech to call out and say, halt, why are you banging or blowing, knocking down beating at that poor midwife's door?
Perfect. Yeah. So you yell that out on your turn. And I think we discussed this before, but every turn is technically happening simultaneously, but we're going to have to wait till the creature goes to kind of figure out how it responds to Nivara kind of yelling out to it. So.
And it's just going to be in common for the record.
Perfect. Novo, it is your turn. And I do want to remind you, Novo, one of the things you can do is prepare an action. So if you like want to run up closer, like where Nivara is, but like wait to see how the creature reacts to Nivara, like if it just goes out and starts attacking her, or if it like tries to talk to her or whatnot, you can prepare an action as your reaction. And if it you can say like, I want to prepare my action. If it attacks Nivara, I'm casting this spell or something like that. And so if it gets to its turn and it does attack Nivara, immediately after that, you get to use your reaction to do that spell or whatever you want it to do. And then when it'll come back again to Nivara and then your turn again, like normal. So.
Yeah, whenever you prepare for, an action to be used as a reaction, what is that considered on that turn that you're doing that? Is that considered an action that you're doing that?
It's considered reaction.
So to answer, I think what you're asking, ready is an action you can take on your turn.
Ready is okay. So ready is the action.
Yeah, ready is one of the actions you can take, like dash or attack. It's like in that list of things that you can do with your action.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and use my movement here. And I'm going to go ahead and move the 30 feet. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. About there. And I think I'm going to... Okay, cool, that works. Yeah, I think I am actually going to ready... Sorry.
You're good.
Just thinking about it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and ready Fairy Fire.
Perfect. To cast on it, and what are the conditions? If it attacks Nivara, or
yeah,
if it attacks your party members?
If it attacks any party members or shows aggression, basically, then yeah, that's the condition there. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So Novo is readying that action.
And
Bjorn.
This is kind of a weird rules thing with how like spells interact with taking the ready action. But when you ready a spell, you do have to technically use that spell slot on your turn when you ready it. And if the trigger doesn't go off, you have still used that spell slot.
You still used it. Okay.
It's probably best to just like actually cast it.
Yeah,
especially
like,
I think with Fairy Fire.
Yeah, like
once you cast it, we all start to benefit from it.
And like Fairy Fire, it's not like a damaging thing. It's not like a super violent thing. It's just kind of like to everybody's benefit.
It could perceive it as a aggression attack, though.
The thing might perceive it as aggressive, as like an aggressive act, but it doesn't like technically harm it. You could maybe be a little bit more general with your trigger, like instead of saying like if it attacks something,
like maybe if it moves towards us,
like if it gets closer maybe, or if it doesn't back down, maybe you could use that.
Yeah, that's probably a good trigger. If it doesn't back down, that's pretty broad.
Sure.
That should go off.
Yeah.
Really, it's up to you, Christian. I mean, it's a learning experience. So whatever you think Nova would do.
Yeah, I don't think I want to engage it. Yeah, I don't want to engage it in combat unless it is doing so with us. So, and I'm fine with that being used up if it's not used.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Well,
Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm just going to dash. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's my first. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And we'll just be like kind of there.
Cool. Kind of like coming around. So you can't really see the creature right now, but maybe you're kind of like circling around it to kind of sneak up on it. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not like... I guess we can kind of tell that there's a creature down there, right? And I know it's over there. I guess, like, yeah, I'm more just like kind of just trying to get down the hill, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to be, you know, a little bit stealthy, but you know, not being like, you know, super stealthy, but like just trying to stay on the opposite side of the building.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. UFO.
All right. Yeah. UFO. He's gonna move a little bit closer. He's gonna walk up. 10, 20, 25, 30, walk up the hill, and he's going to try and get a good look. And can I do like a nature check or whatever kind of check you deem appropriate to see if I like recognize whatever this creature is and like what I might know about it? Like if I know that it's like a beast, or if it's like an intelligent creature. It's like what if I recognize it, like what I might know about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As my action.
Nature check for sure.
Nature? Okay, cool.
Oh, good. You should have high int.
I do. I'm not proficient in nature checks. I rolled a 20 total.
So,
wow.
You know exactly what this thing is. This is a manticore.
Oh, that's bad news.
It's a large monstrosity. It can fly. It's currently flying and stuff like that. But you know, it's a pretty fast flyer. And not only is it pretty deadly, like it's like a quick, like multiple hit kind of creature, but like its tail can like shoot spikes out. So like you like maybe like got closer and kind of like looked at it, and then you're like, oh, and then you've read about this. You've read about manticores.
Yeah,
so.
and like I know it's like a dangerous beast and not like something you reason with. It's something you.
Well, you've heard stories that they have an intelligence, so like they can be talked to.
Do I know their alignment?
Well, they're lawful evil, so you know, like you know they're not chaotic, so they're not just gonna kill you on the spot necessarily. They could if they wanted to.
Yeah, but I know it's a bad news thing.
It's a bad news thing, yeah.
Okay.
But it does have intelligence, and you could chat with it. So
there's a reason why it's
banging on the door.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I want to relay that to the party, and it's like everybody, like this is a manticore. It's a dangerous monstrosity. We should be careful. Be
like, are you yelling that out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
I'm
you
yelling
think the like with the manticore here
Probably.
also?
Yeah, probably. I guess we'll see. All right, and that's your turn, correct, UFO?
Yes, that's my turn.
Doc Rivers.
All right. So Doc is going to let's see. Where's the tool on Roll20 to measure distance or whatever?
You can do that. This is not set up with the maps and everything to properly measure distance, so I'm sorry. Yeah, you'll have to count by the boxes.
If you need help, Spencer, I can help you with like the scaling it properly. There's a pretty easy way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna dash this action as well for my action as well, and I'm gonna go up, and I'm just gonna be right here next to
Bjorn.
Perfect. There's an opening in the gate here, which is where I'm going for.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And that's gonna be your turn, right?
That's all I can do right now.
Perfect. Well, it's now the Manticore's turn, and he kind of like he flaps his wings a little bit, and he sits down like on the ground, like right here, kind of just like peeking around the corner, and he goes, "Ah, more of you. This one," and he kind of gestures. He kind of looks at the windmill at the second floor, and you see like the midwife go whoop, and kind of go back inside. He goes, "This one refuses to feed me. Are you able to feed me, or will I take it from you?"
I have some trail rations.
Well, Nivara gets to respond first, I guess, unless it doesn't do anything else.
Christian, I don't think that triggered your spell, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. Nivara, yeah, it is your turn.
I am gonna use my movement to get a little bit closer, but I'm not gonna dash this time. So that's gonna be 5, 10, 15, 20. I think that's a healthy distance. I'm not gonna get any closer than that. And I'm gonna use my 6 seconds of speech to again call back out to the monster, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you're hungry. What are you looking to eat?" And that's what I'm gonna use to do my turn. I'm not gonna ready any actions or anything, I don't think.
Sounds good. Novo?
Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and use dash for my action here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna end up there.
Kind of circling around, yeah.
Yeah, to get a better view, and I guess I would just call out and almost say, in a witty manner, you know, I can assure you that there is no finer meat than you know, finer things to eat that is, you know, not far from here, but not where you're looking. Something to that effect.
Okay, you're trying to convince it that there's better food, not here, but somewhere else. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
All right, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, you're persuasive. Navarra asked what he wants to eat. You're saying, hey, there's better food other places.
With my nature check, do I know how it might feel about no meat?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it probably eats humanoids, so it'll eat gnomes.
Okay.
No.
I don't let the party know that, and I don't plan on telling him about Nomencard. I just think,
Right, of course.
I just want to know, just have that in my back pocket.
Yeah, you know. Anyways,
16 is the roll.
16. Okay, all right. He like raises an eyebrow at you, and we'll see how he kind of reacts more when it's his turn. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Was that it?
That is everything.
Bjorn.
Yeah. So okay, let's see. We have what kind of rations come in Explorer's kit?
I think it just says
That's
rations.
a great question. What's that?
I think it just says rations. It can kind of be up to you, like whether that's like pemmican or if it's like oats or like jerky,
Dried meat,
dried fruits.
Yeah.
Like whatever your character
jerky,
would eat.
dried fruit, hardtack, and nuts.
boom.
Yeah. So I basically I want to just kind of walk, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and just how tall is this fence? Like, is it taller than me?
5 feet, I believe.
Just as tall as me. So I'm just going to stand behind the fence. And do I have... Can he see me?
No, you're kind of like downhill and behind the fence.
All right, I want to ready a crossbow.
Okay, cool.
And that's my... Oh, and then I want to say to the Manticore, I have some rations. There's also a place Nobu is talking about. Also, happy to go hunt for you if you want. And that's it.
Cool. Ufo?
I wanna continue bombarding the Manticore with information and questions for him to use his 6 seconds of speech with.
Of course.
And I just want to ask the Manticore politely, like, do you have a deal with this woman for food, or are you just trying to extort her for food?
Oh God.
Oof.
And
That's a can of worms.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Oh man, yeah. It's. I like to imagine like Navarro's like, hey, do you? What kind of food do you want? And Nova's like, yeah, there's a better place way over there. Like you gotta go that way. And Bjorn's like, oh yeah. He's like, he's crossbow. He's like, there's lots of good food over there. And then Ufo's just like, hey, what kind of deal do you got with this lady? Are you starting her? What's up? And then Doc, what are you bombarding with another question?
Doc is going to he landed, right? So he can't see who else is coming up, or
Yeah.
does he know we're all here?
Well, he can he probably knows Bjorn's there because he saw movement down the hill and probably he disappeared behind the fence, but he doesn't see Bjorn right now.
And I also said something.
Right. Well, I'm wondering if he's already seen Doc Rivers. Is why.
He from your position, he didn't. Probably no, actually,
Please get your claw
because
on
of
my shoulder.
how the fences and like downhill you are.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I should have said, can Doc Rivers see the Manticore? Is a better question. Because otherwise, the other way around is kind of
Maybe the
messy.
tips of his wings.
Okay. Since
'Cause he's
he's
large.
distracted, okay.
Yeah.
Since he's distracted, I am going to, and she's in this. This is the structure she's in, or is it in here?
Yes,
The
yes.
Manticore's been banging.
Yeah, the black structure you see, like that I have kind of like blackened out. That's the first floor of the windmill, and so she's in there. She's just on the second floor. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then I'm not gonna get around there without getting noticed. I'm in big, heavy armor. I'm clinking everywhere. I'm going to go up and get behind Bjorn right here.
Yep.
And that's actually all Doc is going to do right now. He's just kind of up and he's like kind of like on one knee, I guess, or kind of like hunched over a little bit to hide behind the 5 foot tall fence.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Sounds
he's
good.
like a little crouched down. Yep, and that's all I'm going to do this turn.
The Manticore, kind of like he like sits down. Do you see the position on his token where he's like has his back feet kind of like sat down and he's like perched up? His wings kind of like flare out, kind of like, you know, he's probably trying to be pretty intimidating, where he's just flying out his wings, kind of like showing the broad width. And he kind of like looks down at Ivara, eyes over at Nova, but looks back at her and goes, "Meat. A big pound of meat will do. If you don't have meat. Money. You mention a place that I can eat. What is there? For you back there who accuses me of extortion," this is longer than 6 seconds, I know, "who accuses me of extortion, is it not right for the might to take what they want?" and then yeah, that's what the Manticore says. Nivara?
Question for the DM.
Yeah.
What are in my rations?
So what Justin said earlier, so there's probably dried jerky and nuts and stuff like that. I'll allow you guys to customize it however you want. Like if your particular character, like whatever can be like dried or like survive multiple days, that's probably what you have in there. I would imagine that Bjorn being a dwarf, I don't want to stereotype, but he probably has like a lot of like dried meats.
It's all meat.
Like, yeah, exactly. Whereas like, you know, I don't know if Nivara like is a big health nut and eats a lot of nuts, but yeah, all that kind of good stuff. So,
follow-up question: is there any like cows, sheep, anything around this lady? Does she have like a farm with any animals around, or like any wildlife at all?
No, the main things you notice while kind of looking around, it seems like there's the giant windmill, of course. There seems to be like the ruins of like an old like house maybe right here, because you see like stonework and like an old chimney and stuff, and then you just see piles of stones on top of this hill over here. Maybe it's like a burial mound or of some sort, but that's it. That's in the nearby. No like wild, like there's no farm animals or anything that she has.
Okay. I am going to call out to the Manticore with my speech again, and I am going to say, "I have no meat on me, but I will go hunt some meat for you right now." And I am going to dash away.
Manticore.
Sorry, Ninja Sex Party. Anyways, Novo. Sorry. Was there anything else that Nivara wanted to do?
When I move 60 feet away Do I see any wildlife?
You would have to go looking, so you would have to spend some time doing that. Like,
Okay. I'll
there's
do
not.
that next turn.
Yeah, there's not like any specific like forests or anything nearby. Like between like the mountains and like Phandalin, it's pretty like it's not like very thick. There's like probably some brushes of trees, but it's not like a thick forest like to the north in Neverwinter Wood, if that makes sense. It's mostly plains down here. But Novo.
So where is the lady, or we assume the midwife, calling out from within the windmill?
Second floor.
What direction?
She was right here on the northern end. Yeah.
Towards
But when the Manticore looked at her, she shut the door and went inside. So, or the window.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move here, and I'm going to call out for the midwife. Sorry, I need to pull up her name. Shantea. Acolyte of named Adabra. I'm gonna call out for her to try and I guess just say, Adabra, if you can hear me, why is this Manticore knocking on your door?
Okay. So Nivara has promised to go hunting. Novo's trying to talk to the midwife. Bjorn.
I also promised to go hunting, so okay. I'll go with Nivara.
You're like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I sure hope nothing happens with the party splitting.
Ufo?
Don't fight it by yourselves, I guess.
Manticore is demanding meat or gold, and it's a couple party members are starting to run off to go promise of hunting. What is Ufo doing? Yeah.
Ufo is gonna walk up. He's gonna ask the Manticore, "Do you mind if I go inside to see if I can talk to the one about getting you some meat?"
So you're asking the Manticore to go inside?
Yeah, I'm asking if the Manticore will like let me pass to go inside.
Okay. All right. We'll see if he says yes or no on his turn. Doc Rivers.
All right.
So Bjorn has run off with Nivara.
Okay. Doc is gonna pop around and he's gonna look at the Manticore and he's gonna say, "We need to go inside and get this woman. We're gonna get you your meat, but we need to make sure she's safe. May I pass?"
Ooh, okay, yeah. You both are doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if Bjorn, I don't know if you wanted to move further away if you were going with Nivara.
Whee!
All right. So the Manticore. So Novo said, what did Novo say to the Manticore again? I'm sorry, there's a lot of questions.
Oh, I was calling out to
to Adabra. Yeah, okay. So Adabra kind of like peeks her head out of the window again. And she goes, he just wants to be fed. Well, and then like before she like actually answers, that's when everybody else kind of calls out and says like, yeah, we want to go check up on her and then we'll get you your food. And she goes, please come inside. And then the Manticore looks at like Ufo, and like kind of raises his eyebrow. He doesn't seem to like want to let you to pass, but then Doc kind of says like, we want to make sure she's okay, and then we'll get you your food. And he goes, and he nods, and he like just like sits there and kind of like whisks his tail, you know, like a cat does, like when it's just like thinking and kind of purring, like eyeing stuff.
his
And he's
scorpion
gonna eye
stinger.
you. He stares you down, but he nodded for you guys to pass.
He's whipping his like scorpion stinger back and forth like a cat.
Yes.
Gross.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm going for it.
So
Oh,
currently,
wait, not my turn.
there seems to not be combat right now. So I'm gonna allow you guys to exit the round system since you guys decided not to engage in combat with him right now. Because he's letting you pass inside while Bjorn and Nivara are going off hunting. So we're gonna exit out of rounds, but I'm gonna keep the initiative up. But for right now, we're gonna open it up. So you three are allowed to go inside the windmill, while Nivara and Bjorn, I'm gonna have you do some survival checks to see if you can find some wildlife. So between you two, can you two kind of see who has a higher survival proficiency? And make 3 rolls. One of you make 3 rolls with advantage to see if we'll see if you get that kind of stuff. And while you two are doing that, you guys can kind of communicate with each other. I'm going to role play with these 3. Is that cool?
Wait, 3 rolls with advantage, so 6 rolls?
Yeah.
Bjorn, I have a +2 for my survival.
Yeah. Do you wanna just roll 6 times with that then?
With the +2. Okay, I can do that. So
All
I'll
right.
do that while Spencer is role playing.
Yeah.
Well, so you have to do it twice, 3 times. So you don't
Yes.
just roll. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So you guys want to make your way inside the windmill?
Before we do, I do want to throw out a word of caution. I don't know if this is the right decision. How would I? So the thing is, I guess I would have to say it pretty quietly and hope that he doesn't overhear us as we're trying to go inside.
Yeah,
Be
like,
difficult.
you could maybe like wait until we're inside and like the door's shut and then say it under your breath. And like I
But
kind of
then-
nudge as he like starts to
Yeah,
speak up.
like,
I kind of
hey,
I nudge him and just like under my breath, like wait a second until we get
This
inside.
could be a trap. As we go in, then I guess, because it's just, yeah, I'm afraid that this is all a part of his plan. It's to
Well,
fish in a barrel, if you know what I mean.
if he was gonna get in, he would have gotten into this building. So we're as safe as we can be right now. So let's go find the midwife, and we'll get him some food and get the hell out of here. Plus, he said we can just buy him off, so I think we should just do that if it comes to it. Give him a couple gold and tell him to get out of here.
He's probably gonna want more than a couple.
We only have a couple, so
And yeah, so like we kind of got into the lighthouse or the windmill, I'm guessing.
yeah. Go ahead and move you guys inside there.
What?
And I'll kind of describe this location. So
Cool.
for the most part, you see like you know how most windmills like the wind blows and it kind of is like this like churning in the center, and it kind of it's meant to ground wheat into like flour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you kind of go inside there, under where like it's grinding, it's not wheat. It seems to be a whole mix of different like herbs and concoctions and stuff. And as you kind of enter in here, you do see like bottles and like different glass like jars full of like whole herbs, but then like liquids and like all sorts of different stuff kind of scattered about in this lower area. And like to go upstairs is a ladder. So it's on this kind of like northern point right here. That's the ladder. You can climb up and go to the second floor. And like you just hear from the second floor, like at the top of the ladder point, just Dabra go, "Hey, up here!"
All right, cool. Can I do a quick Arcana check to see if I recognize this as magic stuff or just like herbal remedy stuff?
Absolutely.
I don't like this.
I mean, she's a midwife. It's probably just medicine. I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
And like even magic can be helpful during births. I just want to get a good idea of who this woman is. So I get to do a very nice thing, because a very fun fact about halflings is that they are very lucky.
Yeah.
And if I ever roll a 1 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, as many times as I want, I can re-roll it, but I have to take the new roll. So since I rolled this 1, I get a second go at it because halflings are very lucky creatures, and I got a 20 total.
Wow, look at that.
I think it's worth it.
So you've rolled a 20 instead. Yeah, it's a mixture of both. It seems to be like a mixture, like healing herbs and but putting them together with magic and such. And you see like a couple of bottles of like potions of healing and stuff like scattered throughout. So,
Okay, cool. So there's definitely magic going on here.
Yes.
Cool.
Don't we think it's a little weird that a manticore, it just happens to be knocking upon a midwife's windmill, that seeking pounds of flesh? I mean, what is she doing? Is this...
I mean, it probably just thought she was an easy target.
Do you think she feeds him babies?
She could. I just...
I think it seems extreme. But
yeah, I think you're jumping to a lot of conclusions here. I think that the manticore just saw a woman alone and decided she was an easy target. I think we should just help this woman out, get her and warn her about everything else. Sounds like this might make her a little bit more amenable to coming into town with the dragon afoot and now manticores apparently. So let's just go talk to her.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is let's take a cautious step here.
Okay. Don't trust the old lady or the manticore. Let's go. And he starts to climb up the
All right.
ladder.
Yeah, you
Cautious
guys
climb rather.
make it to the second floor.
Cautiously
A-okay.
climb.
So go ahead and position your tokens up there,
All right.
which is in the top right of the screen, if you can see right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's peek up over the last rung.
Yep. So Adabra's up here.
I mean, her name is the start of a magic, an illusion spell.
Hey, like I look at Novo. I was like, what do you have against mages, guy?
Yeah.
This whole situation, just from when I questioned her, just seemed she wasn't being straightforward.
She's under attack by an evil monstrosity. Let's give the woman a break.
Yeah.
Novo, I'm going to move your token up to the second floor, if that's okay. And I'm going to place you over where you came up the ladder, because I imagine Novo has 1 foot out down the ladder still. So you get up here. Deborah, this seems to be her like private quarters. Like her bed's up here. She has like a mix of different like her like clothes and stuff like that hanging up to dry and different things. So like this is like obviously like where she lives. And she goes, "Oh, thank goodness you stopped by. This thing, I think it came down from the mountains and it's attacking me." And she's whispering. She's like whispering to you guys. She's like, "Please, I don't carry food here. I don't eat meat. I don't hunt. I just make herbs and like potions."
Oh. What kind of potions?
Healing, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we can get you out of here, can you maybe make some potions for us too?
Well, I mean, I'll
We'll get you out of here and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
It's okay. And I pat her on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'll extort you later. I mean, we'll figure something out.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
I don't think she should be worried about Novo in this situation. Sorry. So, a common thing that people do for viewers at home, if you cross your fingers, that usually means you're out of character. But, yeah.
Oops. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you safe. Oh wait, we are gonna get a reward anyway. So yeah, I'll help you for free.
So yeah. So she is there anything else that you guys want to ask of her? The party members are still like currently hunting. You probably have like, we'll say it's like you have a period of like probably 15 minutes while the hunting is kind of happening and you guys are like hanging out and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to give her like the heads up. It's like, hey, don't worry. We're gonna. This should be fine. A couple of us went out into the woods to find, hopefully like some rabbits or something, to give the manticore, and then I think we should probably get you back into town.
No, I'm not going back into town. My place is here. This is where I do my work.
Oh, well, there's a white dragon out and about. So we need, if you want to continue to do your work, we need to get you somewhere safer. For right now, then you can come back and do your work.
Psh, white dragon ain't gonna bother me. I'm fine.
No.
There's a manticore
White
bothering
dragons
you
do what
right
they
now.
want to do.
Yeah, well, why would why would a white dragon come after me? Like the manticore.
Why would a
I
manticore
get
come
that.
after you?
Well, it
really?
wants meat, obviously. That's why it's coming down. But no, this is my place. I didn't build this windmill by myself, but it's a part of my family history, and I'm not leaving. This is like, where else can I ground my herbs and make my potions? This is the only place here next of Neverwinter that I can actually do my work.
What if we get the town to build you a mill in town?
Oh, please. How long do you think that's going to take? Like 9 months, a year?
No, we just get a big rock and a donkey and some wood, and the donkey walks in a circle and pushes the wood, and the big rock wheel is a circle, and there's a hole. Look.
Oh, sure. Put the donkey to work. Grab an old horse and get him to work. Why not get the birds involved? They can't push stones, but maybe they can help out in other regards.
Yeah, I love the brainstorming.
While
Bird
this
power.
is happening, I want to try.
What is it
and
with people and birds out here?
conspicuously cast Detect Magic.
Yeah, go right ahead. So you can take like the 10 minutes that you guys are talking. Wait, bards don't get ritual magic.
No,
I'm
bards
sorry.
bards don't have ritual casting.
So, yeah, though this would consume a spell slot.
There are
I do.
ritual spells on the bard spell list in the Essentials Kit book.
Right.
You need a feature called ritual casting.
Yeah. Yeah, so like
So why is it on the list for bards?
No, the spells still have those tags.
Yeah, like you can
which
still
means
cast.
they're available. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
You can still cast the spell with a spell slot. You just can't you just can't cast it like as a ritual, doing the ritual stuff.
So that's another benefit of being like a cleric or like a druid
or
like a wizard. Sorry. Oh wait, do druids get ritual too?
I think I think they do.
Maybe.
Okay, but yeah, with different spellcasters like sorcerers and bards, they just are kind of innately magical, like the compared to the other ones. So they don't really get to like cast rituals. They just kind of like have that magic, and it's part of their flavoring, and it's part of like the advantages, disadvantages, and stuff like that. But that you guys are like on the fly, ready to go. But you can't do the longer prepared type stuff. So even though it's classified as, this is a potential ritual, you can't do ritual casting unless you have that feature. But you can actually take it as a feat. You can do ritual casting as a feat. That is a thing that you can do in the actual player's handbook. So
is that the only way that a bard can get a ritual spell?
Well, they can have that
you
spell.
can cast that spell as a regular spell, just not a ritual?
Yeah.
Right.
Very good question.
That's misleading, but I appreciate the clarification.
Yeah, that got me as well then.
If you chose that spell specifically just for rituals and you would have taken something else, feel free to go ahead and change that spell. I completely understand that misunderstanding. So, but did you still want to cast Detect Magic?
So you can cast any of our spells.
Christian, I can cast Detect Magic if you want.
What's the difference?
Doc leans over to Novo, goes, You want me to feel if she's all evil and magical on the inside? Would that make you feel better?
So I guess I don't know. Did you know? Did you see me trying to start casting that?
Honestly, I wasn't sure if you were trying to fart or like what.
You sure? I tried just to be stealthy about it.
Well, I'm not going to be stealthy about it. You're just going to see it happen. It's going to be really obvious.
You've heard.
I'm pretty sure also she's like 5 feet away. She can hear us.
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, and like when you look at a spell and you look at its components, you can see that Detect Magic has that V and S, which means it uses visual and verbal and somatic components.
Yeah.
So you have to you have to say words and like say the incantation, and you also have to do hand motions. It is very difficult to cast a spell stealthily. It's another like trade-off thing.
Sorcerers can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna. Sorcerers have a specific thing where they can cast a spell subtly with their like spell shaping. But it is very difficult for like a bard or a wizard to be discreet about casting a spell.
Oh
Yeah.
So I have some questions still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
interesting.
So I am still confused by Detect Magic because it says first level divination ritual in parentheses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is Christian able to cast it or not?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not as a ritual.
So what's the difference?
Rituals, spells cast as rituals don't use spell slots. It's a really cool feature for some of the spellcasting classes. It does, however, it adds 10 minutes onto your casting time.
To cast it as a ritual.
Right, because think about it like so
instantaneously.
Yeah, the bards are like wailing away on their instruments or whatever, and like the magic is just coming out from their awesome rock. This is like, you know, like the cloth is laid out, the goblet is laid down, incense is lit, like, you know, the crystals are draped, and you know,
Doc has to have like
there with the little goblet thingy,
The singing bowl.
Yes.
The singing bowl. Yes, thank you.
Doc has to have a whole like back and forth with his god. He is like it's like a whole ass conversation that needs to happen.
Can I please cast this spell?
I don't know. What do you need it for, kind of thing.
Yeah, what do you need it for? Well, I don't really see. Should be able to just do it, but you know, it's to see if she's all evil on the inside. We're making sure her heart's not icky.
Okay. I appreciate the clarification. Things make more sense now. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I like to imagine. I don't know who Dr. Rivers' deity is, but I like him. I like the idea of him just being like, yeah, I guess she is pretty sus. There you go, bud.
You can have this one for free.
Yeah.
He's like an insurance company.
Yeah.
Like, no, I need it. I am a doctor, and I'm telling you I need this. And they're like,
So if
this is out of network though.
So what?
When was the last time you prayed to me? Huh? I mean, it's been
This
about
morning.
like a 10 day.
You're gonna need some serious Hail Marys later.
Dude.
I'm sorry, Christian.
No,
Ritual
it's okay.
casting is like one of the most complicated aspects of spellcasting.
That makes more sense now. I guess going along with that knowledge now helps me as a player. Sorry, we kind of derailed the.
Totally fine.
No, not
You're
at all.
good.
That's
That's why
exactly
these
the point of this screen.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing the ABCs.
Yep.
No, yeah, it's very good information for myself and others. I guess with that knowledge now, I would kind of having the conversation with Doc Rivers. I'd be like, you know, we could persuade her that, you know, we're casting this spell for something else. I mean, she shouldn't know why we're casting it.
I'm pretty sure she's better at magic than I am. She's gonna know what I'm doing.
Well,
but if it makes you feel better, we can do it. Yeah. Look, we're just this is for you, Novo. I got the incense. It's like right here. I got my little singing bowl. Spencer, are you ready to
Yeah, I was gonna if you're gonna do the ritual and detect magic, I'm gonna cut to Nivara and Bjorn because they've been out hunting. And I want to catch them up because I feel like we've been away from them for a little bit too long, and I'm sorry, guys.
Agreed.
Yeah, so Ashley, you rolled your 3 highest, 19, 18, 19. Boom! You guys, like, you maybe caught, like, you caught 2 deers and, like, probably, what's, like, a medium-sized creature? What would be out
Like
here?
a pheasant?
Yeah.
A couple of pheasants?
I was thinking we just catch like a couple rabbits or squirrels or something. I don't know.
Those were good rolls.
You think 2 deer? I think just 1 deer.
But hey, take the second deer.
Okay, I'll take the second deer.
DM says you got 2 deers.
How are we gonna get these back?
Well, we can maybe like leave a trail of blood or leave a trail of blood or something and let the manticore find it. I mean, I'm sure it's got pretty keen senses.
How much can I drag, Spencer?
A lot, actually.
Yeah. It shouldn't be. You guys should be able to just, because you're not going like a super far distance. You guys are just bringing this back to like the manticore and stuff. So you didn't go
30 times your strength score.
Yeah.
30 times my strength?
That's what you can drag along the ground. Your speed drops to like 5 feet per round.
I could technically drag both deer then.
But that's only if you're only in excess of your carrying capacity. If you could normally carry it, you can just kind of like pick it up and go.
How much can I normally carry?
Your carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15 in pounds.
Deer weigh like 200 pounds.
Like 130. Well, they'd be like 150 pounds probably.
Yeah,
they don't actually weigh that much.
It'd be 150. And deer, I don't know, how much does a deer weigh?
Depends on how big it is. For like a doe, you'd be looking at like 130 to 170 pounds. For a buck, you're looking at like 250. I know this because my father hunts. If we dress it out in the field, though, that'll cut down the weight by like 30 pounds, and we just leave the guts out there.
Guys, we don't need to calculate it that. You guys can just bring the deer back. That's fine.
Okay.
we don't need to get this.
Need to do the gory details.
We're good. We're good.
Oh crap! We're over. We're over.
It's okay. Look, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean for it to go that long. I was just
I was having fun.
Wrap up.
Oh yeah, that's our stream for this week, everybody. Oh,
I dragged the deer back with Bjorn. We each drag a deer back.
Cool. So let's just say that Doc, you cast Detect Magic after doing a ritual. You sense that it's all good here. Like, you don't sense any malice. It's just all healing magic. There's no, like, secret necrotic, like, skeleton buried in the back. There's no, like, you don't sense any weird things, anything like that. It's all natural. It's all good.
No illusion, no necrotic, all healing magic.
Bjorn and, like, Nivara kind of storm back. And I like to imagine, don't let me speak for Nivara, but I like to think that she, like, had Bjorn carry the 2 deer while she's carrying like the 2 pheasants like out and stuff like that, making sure like no guts and stuff get on her and stuff like that. Correct me if that's not something she would care about, but
I think she's cool with it.
Oh, okay. All right. So just carrying all the stuff. So you guys bring back the food and you kind of like drop it in front of the manticore and everything, and he goes, this will do just fine. He scoops it up and he goes, hopefully, I won't have to come back here again. And he just kind of flaps his wings, and he just starts taking off. He takes off.
Whoa,
can I call out to him before he leaves?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hey, since we got you some meat, would you maybe be able to get our back when we go fight the dragon?
He, like, stops in midair, and he kind of turns around, and he goes, the dragon. Cryovane?
That's the one.
He drove me out of my home.
So do you want to help us fight him when we get there?
No. I'm staying as far away as I can from him. And he turns around and starts flying again.
What does he
Sounds
mean?
like a wimp.
Nivara.
He
giant monster.
Yeah, he does look back at you, but he's gonna keep flying.
What does he mean this will do? He asked for, and I quote, a pound of flesh. And we gave him like 250-pound deers. And he's all, this will do.
Yeah.
And he's not even going to help us fight the dragon that drove him out of his home. That seems sus.
Exactly.
Ufo doesn't like him.
I just went to Kroger and gotten him like, a pound of like lunch meat turkey or something,
You grab him one of those rotisserie chickens?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, here you go. Does this Manticore have a name?
Fun fact. They sell rotisserie chickens at below cost to get you into grocery stores.
Wow.
That's why rotisserie chickens are so cheap.
Man.
Oh.
It works.
I'd go to a grocery store anyway.
I mean, fair. But that's why rotisserie chickens are so much cheaper than like buying a chicken.
Item. Damn.
Like
I'm always like walking by and I'm like, oh, that smells good. And then I buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eat like
the whole thing. Yeah.
But I guess
I use like the other half in other food.
We can finish our conversation with the midwife next time.
Yep. So that's where I was gonna say. All right. So the adventuring party has successfully satisfied the Manticore, and he flew off with the prize deer and whatnot that Bjorn and Nivara caught. Next week we'll kind of figure out more about what's going on, how Adabra may thank the party and everything. Then maybe they'll make it back to town. We'll kind of see what kind of happens there. They will get a level up from this because of this quest. So you guys kind of think about what you want to do at your level 3 and kind of like the choices you'll have to make. But you won't get it till you take another long rest, so keep that in mind. But other than that, let's go ahead and open up the floor for questions and stuff like that. I know we have some viewers, so at the end we always like to open up questions about like how we're playing the game, any questions about like what we chose to do, how to play D&D specifically, or this campaign. I know we had quite a few people talking in the chat earlier. So while we're opening up the chat for us to read out questions and stuff like that, did we kind of want to review some of the stuff that was discussed earlier?
I can read the attributions while we figure that out real quick.
Yeah.
There you go.
First off, thank you all for tuning in and viewing tonight. We, as Spencer mentioned, are using the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit. We highly recommend, if you are interested in purchasing from your local game store if possible. If not, it is easily accessible through online retailers as well as major retailers. Fortunately, this is one of the RPGs that's easy to get from your major retailers. We are using Roll20 as our online platform that is free to use. We highly recommend it. Speaking of Roll20, Pathfinder has a 2nd edition character art pack that is free through Roll20, which is how most, if not all, of our NPCs in this campaign are being used. There are also some tokens from Colorful Characters Drive-Thru RPG, as well as the Token Treasury Monsters. Lastly, our specific characters, our specific player characters, were designed on Hero Forge. So shout out to them as well. And then in our little description of our video, you'll be able to see all of the different music and things like that we used. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said before, please, please, please try to support your local game stores. They're a great resource for role-playing games, other card games, things like that. All of your needs. And often they have little groups. So if you're looking for your own D&D group and you don't really know where to find one, they often have groups where you can join in as well as for other things like Magic the Gathering, things like that. Thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you, Ashley.
No questions yet, but if you ever want to get in touch with us while we're not streaming, you can find us on a whole bunch of different socials under ABCs of RPGs. Message us wherever you can find us on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. There's a lot of fun highlights videos that Spencer makes and puts up on the YouTube channel with some fun, really cute, like almost machinimated versions of some of our favorite scenes and some quick, crisp little cut-ups. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun to make. Definitely check those out and share them with your friends if you found them as cool as we do.
Yeah.
But if there aren't any questions, I think we can sign off for the night.
Yeah, just a quick question. Were there any questions like earlier in the stream that people had that hadn't gotten addressed, or?
No, I think I was in the chat and was able to do some answering over time. So
Cool.
I think everything.
Yeah, shout out to I'm Nick Jones for engaging so heavily today.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick Jones.
And Q1E, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it.
Alrighty, well.
Yeah. So
I think that's our stream. We'll see you guys next week, same time, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
yeah, thanks for tuning in. Highlights go up on Wednesdays with our full stream going up on Fridays in case you missed a week. Of course, we're always going to be here Sundays at 7 p.m. So until next time, keep on learning.